Jiang Ming has already killed over 200 Star Sea experts and a handful of cosmic ones, but Long Jingyang's armor is something he's never seen before. The collision between their supreme treasures just tore a hole in the void. Leave a like and subscribe to see who walks out of that rift. Jiang Ming had learned about the division of cultivating realms here in Lu Heng's world. It was basically divided by the planet. On the planet were apprentices of up to grade 9 warriors. It was corresponding to the 10 realms of the mortal world where Jiang Ming came from. After the grade 9 warrior was followed by level planetary, stellar, galactic, star river, star field, star sea, cosmic, and supreme. Based on Luo Heng explanation and the condition of the supreme chat room, Jiang Ming calculated that level planetary, stellar, galactic, star river, star field, star sea, cosmic, and supreme were corresponding to heavenly immortal, true immortal, mystical immortal, golden immortal, Tai, great, overarching, quasi-sage, and saint respectively. Whether it was the quasi-sage or saint, Luo Heng only heard about them. However, because Luo Heng himself was currently at level Star River, he was strong enough to traverse the galaxy, open up and develop a world and be the ruler. After they walked through the fog, they arrived at the bottom of the mountain. In fact, they were in an incomparably massive abyss. In the abyss were mountains, the place of inheritance. As soon as Jiang Ming and Lu Heng got to the bottom of the mountain, 100 meters long spaceship 1,000 meters away had discovered the movement here in an instant. They sent out an alert. This is the level 4 spaceship corresponding to the golden immortal item, Lu Heng explained. Brother Jiang, I'll first attack. But if I'm defeated, please help me. Luo Heng was eager to try. His fighting spirit was high. When Luo Heng was being chased at first, he had to use up the life-saving items given by his master, and finally had to enter the land of inheritance for a chance to survive. If it wasn't because of Jiang Ming, even if he had the supreme order, he didn't know if he could survive this tribulation. Therefore, he was filled with hatred. With the improvement of his cultivation base and his strength, he wouldn't want to miss the opportunity to vent his anger. Luo Heng flew over. A void projection appeared in front of the spaceship, forming a figure. It was wearing armor, and had vertical pupils and scales on his face, just like a real person. Meanwhile, the surrounding had a terrifying power that imprisoned the void. Luo Heng, I'm here representing the Demon Clan to welcome you to join us. This expert of the Demon Clan spoke in a loud and resounding voice. If you were to stay on the mountain, you may be able to survive. However, now that you have come out, you are in a desperate situation. Hence, joining my demon clan is your only hope to survive. It's also because you're a super genius to be given such a privilege. Shi Luo, if I were to join the demon clan, do I have to transform my bloodline? Luo Heng asked. That's for sure. Shi Luo nodded. You'll have to transform your bloodline to my demon clan's bloodline before you can be part of us. Otherwise, why would we need you? Anyway, based on your talent, you can undertake the bloodline of my demon clan's 10 emperors and you'll be much stronger than your current self. With the royal bloodline of my demon clan, your physical weakness will be overcome and you'll be perfect from then. If you were too afraid that you'll trouble your family, we can take them all in to be your company. Luo Heng, it's rare for us to take the initiative to invite a member of a foreign clan to be one of us, and even have his bloodline to be transformed to our royal bloodline. Hence, if you reject my offer, you'll not only lose your sky-defying encounter, you'll also lose your life. Oh, I just recalled that Koizumi Ichio, the genius of your human race, took the initiative to join my demon race 3 million years ago. A Star Sea-leveled expert of my demon clan transformed the Koizumi Ichio bloodline to that of the Golden Divine Dog. He became a lot stronger and later became one of the most powerful beings in the universe. It was unfortunate that he was killed and eaten by Bai Deng, that old man. Else he would overwhelm all Star Sea-leveled experts. Luo Heng, you'll definitely have a greater achievement than him because of your better talent. Hence, stop hesitating and join us. Shi Luo was trying to tempt and convince Luo Heng. Luo Heng smirked. Do you want me to betray my human race? Ha, thanks for thinking of that. Shi Luo, take your move and show me how strong you are as a star field expert. Wanna fight me? Shi Luo smirked. Since you aren't taking my offer, you shall die. Domain tribulation, destroy. Black lightning appeared out of thin air, striking directly at Luo Heng. Its coverage was relatively huge, hence Jiang Ming was included in the strike area. A sword, a great overarching weapon, appeared in Luo Heng's hand. Luo Heng was currently capable of exerting most of the sword's power. The moment the sword emitted its luminance, Luo Heng resisted the black lightning. He lunged himself towards the spaceship. Yang Ming didn't move. He resisted the attack merely with the surging luminance. Yang Ming looked around and smiled. It's the domain law. Although the rules are different in a different world, its principle is still similar. While Jiang Ming was analyzing the situation, he was absorbing the world's aura and merging into the world so that he could better feel the difference. I wonder if the world is contained in the Sea of Chaos. I may need to find out. While pondering, he discovered that Luo Heng had clashed through the domain. Then, he directed his sword to slash through the spaceship into two, resulting in a heavy casualty. How can you be so powerful in merely about 20 years? Inheritance? Impossible. It's impossible. Shiluo's true self flew out of the spaceship. He looked rather miserable. In fact, Shiluo was in great shock. He remembered Luo Heng was very weak at that time. Although Luo Heng had boundless potential, he was so weak that he was no match even to his subordinates if it wasn't because of the protective thing Luo Heng had. He couldn't believe Luo Heng could be this strong in just a short period of time. Nothing is impossible. Luo Heng smirked. He lunged himself towards Shiluo. At this moment, Luo Heng was high-spirited, full of fighting intent. The battle broke out, affecting the surrounding areas in an instant. Robust force emitted even scattered a great amount of hard mountain rocks. The few surviving subordinates of Shiluo lunged towards Jiang Ming with surprises. They couldn't identify the strength of Jiang Ming, but they assumed that Jiang Ming was not that strong by looking at his rather thin appearance. Die! A man with two horns on his head was the first to reach. He instantly chopped on Jiang Ming with his war saber while evoking the power of order. The violent saber key surging seemed capable of chopping the abyss into two parts. I may omit you if you were to retreat, but it's you digging your own grave when you want to kill me, Jiang Ming sneered. Then, he spat out the Great Thunder technique, which wiped out the few experts. When they died, they transformed back to their true bodies, giant bodies of the Demon Clan. They are different from the Demon Clan in my world. Jiang Ming discovered a difference in their cells as he observed them. As for the other differences, Jiang Ming didn't investigate further because he wasn't free to do so. On the other hand, Luo Heng had completely suppressed his opponent. Luo Heng was capable of doing so because all his genetics, special abilities and spells, and Dao vessels were strong enough to overwhelm Shiluo. Hence, Luo Heng managed to slash Shiluo into half after a moment. Luo Heng, you're on the wanted list of my clan. I've just sent out the message. Hence, you'll definitely die, I'm sure, Shiluo cried. He tried to escape but was killed on the spot. Luo Heng howled after he killed Shiluo. His void shook heaven, reverberated in mountain ranges and shook the mountain peaks, causing landslides. Luo Heng stopped only after a while. I've never thought that I can grow to this extent within 30 years. Luo Heng felt as though he was dreaming. To think that I could kill a Starfield expert. This is nothing surprising. Yang Ming walked towards Luo Heng with his face glowing with pleasure. As a member of the group, you're destined to be one of the top experts in the future. Hence, this is just your beginning. You'll be able to suppress the universe and overwhelm millions of clans in the future. I don't dare to think that I'm able to suppress the universe, but it's my aim to overwhelm millions of clans. Luo Heng was ecstatic. Brother Jiang, let me just contact my friends and families first before anything else. Luo Heng was indeed very worried. He was afraid of getting unpleasant news. Yang Ming nodded. Luo Heng communicated with the virtual connector, sending a part of his consciousness into a virtual world. The virtual world was the ultimate result of network development. It had millions of wonders. In just a second, Luo Heng received thousands of mails, which he read all in a short while with his consciousness. Most of them were asking for his conditions, his whereabouts, and the reason for not replying. When he found out there was no bad news, he took a sigh of relief before he replied to all of them. Brother Jiang, since you've got here, what about I arrange a trip for you? Luo Heng asked after he was done with his matter. Sure, let's first visit our human race's territory and check out our culture before I take you around the universe. But I'm afraid that there would be some troubles. Do you think that I'd be afraid of trouble? Haha, in that case I shall take advantage of your power now then. As Luo Heng spoke, he took out a spaceship from his storage space. The spaceship was only 30 meters long, far smaller than that of Shi Luo. Luo Heng opened the door and the two entered. Master, is there any order? Although it was the electronic voice, it was gentle with hints of flirtation. Return via the same route, Luo Heng demanded. Then, he opened the wine cellar, took out his precious good wine and poured Jiang Ming a glass. Brother Jiang, since you are from the other world, are you curious about this spaceship? Yes, I somewhat do. Jiang Ming looked somewhat strange, but he was indeed curious. It was, after all, the universe which was capable of traversing the universe. In my world, we've various flying artifacts, but they are antiques to your world. They aren't slower than your spaceship, but they are very different in appearance, Jiang Ming depicted. Your world has intelligent items, projectors, while we have puppet with intelligence, an iridescent mirror and the likes. The millions of great Daos are expressed in different forms, but their cores are similar. Anyway, because of the numerous stars with life in the vast universe, your world has incredibly abundant materials. My world, on the other hand, is generally made up of only one continent, and the stars are often very desolated. The two were discussing the similarity and differences of their own world before they probed into the essence of great Dao. Their spaceship left the abyss in just a while. When they were a distance away, they looked back to see the abyss was just a giant crack that appeared deep in the starry sky. It looked like a giant beast of starry sky, with millions of miracles in it. Is this the miraculous scene of the universe? Yang Ming was rather shocked. Yep, You are not alone to be in shock. I felt the same when I first saw this scene, Luo Heng said. The universe is so vast that it has created numerous miracles. At this moment, the spaceship trembled and stopped. Here comes the person digging his grave, Jiang Ming sneered. Digging grave. Luo Heng was startled for a second before he said with shock, to think that my spaceship and I failed to detect his existence. His must be more terrific than Shi Luo. He is of the great overarching realm, aka the Star Sea leveled expert. As Jiang Ming said, he grabbed Luo Heng and got out of the spaceship to a distance. What's this? Luo Heng was surprised to see what was happening before him. The laws of void condensed and turned into a giant palm as big as a planet which held on the spaceship. In fact, it was not considered a palm but a claw. In the distance, the void cracked, and a creature walked out of it. He was covered with black hair, similar to an ape, but had 8 hands. Black Divine Ape Clan. Luo Heng revealed the creature's identity. Luo Heng, the young genius of the human race. It's you. No, it should be this man beside you, who has killed Shi Luo, right? The expert of the Black Divine Ape Clan spoke in an extremely icy cold voice. Shi Luo said you are incredibly powerful, and that he's not your match. But before he could explain further, the message has been cut. I've checked on you before I came. You're merely a little kid. Even if your aptitude is the best in millions of epochs, it's impossible that you can improve up to the stage where you are capable of killing Shi Luo in just a few decades. Hence, the only possible culprit is this man beside you. By the way, I'm Yuan Shi. How may I address you? Yuan Shi looked at Jiang Ming. Jiang Ming. Jiang Ming didn't hide his real identity because he didn't think he had to. However, you were mistaken. I didn't kill Shi Luo but brother Lu himself, Jiang Ming said with a smile. How is it possible? Yuan Shi had shock on his face. I thought it's been too much for me to come personally, yet I've never expected to be able to meet with such a terrifying young expert of the human race. It's not a loss for me indeed. No, it's a great loss for you, Jiang Ming said. Yuan Shi, do you know whether your demon clan has any supreme expert? You don't even know this? You shouldn't be that strong then. Yuan Shi took a deep breath to suppress his shock before he took his move. I don't care about your background and how genius you are. Having to meet me is akin to your death. As Yuan Shi clasped his giant illusion palm, he crashed the spaceship instantly. Then, he ferociously slapped with his giant palm as big as a planet. His palm was strong enough to crash a planet. Luo Heng was terrified at the terrific power. Would you like to try? Yang Ming asked with a smile. Forget about it. Luo Heng smiled wryly. I don't want to oppress myself. It should be easy for a golden immortal to slaughter a great overarching expert. But now that you aren't confident at all, it means you haven't accumulated enough. Jiang Ming said, from now onwards I think you shall not think about breaking through to Tai realm but try to pass the battle towers. As Jiang Ming said, a bright ray of light emitted from his forehead, scattering the giant palm. With just a flash, it seemed to have penetrated space and time, reached Yuan Shi, confined him and fused into his mind. Brother Jiang, this attack of yours is too terrifying, Luo Heng said with shock. To which level the power of your soul and your will have reached? You can actually suppress a great overarching expert so easily. The extreme of demi-sage, or it can be sad that it's half a step away from the saint's soul. Gosh, Brother Jiang, you're amazing. Alas, I've always wanted my soul to transform into the saint's soul, but I always fail to. I feel that I'd need another 10,000 years if I were to temper it without taking any shortcuts. 10,000 years to transform into Saint's soul? Alas, this is too amazing. Does it mean that the Saint's soul is akin to the Saint, the supreme expert? Yes. But if I were to spend my resources, I'll definitely achieve the transformation in 1 or 2 years or in less than 100 years. Damn. Luo Heng was utterly astonished. When he regained his calmness, he rolled his eyes as he said, Brother Jiang, are you trying to show off here? Jiang Ming laughed nastily. Meanwhile, he had a peek of Yuan Shi's memory. Yuan Shi knew far more than Lu Heng. Therefore, as Jiang Ming read, he learned more about the world. In the universe was a place where various clans and races competed against each other. Not only that, experts were competing to transcend as well. The demon clan had supreme experts, but they seemed to have gone to the chaos outside the universe in the search for an encounter to transcend. It also seemed that most supreme experts would head to the chaos. Many universe-leveled experts too would try their luck in there. The chaos here doesn't look like the chaos in my world, as Jiang Ming thought. Excitement glowed on his face. The universe here was more suitable for exploration. He even thought of exploring the chaos. Luo Heng had already regained his senses and had a somewhat sophisticated feeling. Jiang Ming was, after all, of the same level as Luo Heng at the beginning. However, Jiang Ming had reached a stage that was far out of his reach in just a short while. Luo Heng felt fortunate that Jiang Ming was not arrogant. Brother Jiang, why are you so excited? Luo Heng suddenly saw the joy expressed on Jiang Ming's face, and Yuan Shi who was standing still. Hence he made a wild assumption. Don't tell me you're probing into his memory. It's totally impossible to check on the Starsea level expert, isn't it? His will is incredibly strong, isn't it? Yes, I'm indeed probing his memory. Jiang Ming grinned. What? Damn, how's it possible? Luo Heng almost jumped out. It's very difficult even for a saint to probe into the memory of a Starseed-leveled expert, isn't it? Just some techniques. Yang Ming pointed at Yuan Qi as he said, do you want to submit him in exchange for your merit? I do have the intention. Luo Heng hesitated for a moment and smiled. Hence it's better to take action. After all, it's better to exchange the Starseed-leveled expert of the Demon Clan for merit than wasting this chance. By that time I'll get you top-grade wine. He made a pause to ponder before he continued. Brother Jiang, what about you say that you've been cultivating at the border of the universe? You started traveling around recently and met me while I was besieged by the Demon Clan. Hence, you capture Yuan Qi so that you can get yourself a name in our human race. Alive Yuan Qi has infinite value, not to mention that you'll get trust, at least you won't be troubled by any member of the human race. That's just a waste of time. Jiang Ming shook his head. Luo Heng smiled wryly. Well, nobody would believe that I'm capable of killing an expert of the Star Sea level. Hence, I'd need to take the guise of you as a senior. You can just arrange it on your own. As Jiang Ming said, he took out the spatial bracelet of Yuan Qi. The space inside was incomparably vast, which was comparable to dozens of planets. Jiang Ming forcefully wiped out Yuan Qi's imprint on it and probed with his consciousness. His eyes lit as he was surprised. There are too many good things in there. The bloodline of the Demon Clan is strong, and the individuals are also extremely huge in size and powerful. Many of them even have bloodline inheritance. Their population is small, but they have many affiliated clans. Hence, all experts of the Demon Clan are very rich. Luo Heng explained. Brother Jiang, what are the items in it? Hold on. Jiang Ling turned to Yuan Qi and added another layer of confinement. Then, he threw it to Lu Heng. No worries, just take it. No one below cosmic level can release him. Sure. Luo Heng kept and suppressed it directly in his storage space before he looked at Jiang Ming. The next moment, dense dots suddenly appeared in front of them, darkening their view. There were uncountable rows of spaceships, numerous artifacts and weapons, precious minerals and stones, various materials and so on. The amount of these things was so great that they could fill 2 planets. 2 6th-grade spaceships, 32 5th-grade spaceships, 800 4th-grade spaceships, and 30 million 3rd-grade spaceships. Gosh. Luo Heng was astounded as he scanned through with his consciousness. I know that the members of the Demon Clan are rich, but they are incredibly richer than I expected. I think it's not surprising. Jiang Ming grabbed out and kept a 6th-grade spaceship, half of the 5th-grade spaceship, and some precious minerals. The rest are yours, Brother Jiang. Luo Heng shook his head. Taking Yuan Qi is the greatest benefit I've got, hence I can't take these. I'm not interested in all of them. Well, all right then, you are indeed so rich that I'm jealous. Luo Heng kept them while giggling. Then, they continued their travels on the 6th-grade spaceship of Yuan Qi. It was faster and more luxurious. More importantly, it was so tough that it could crash planets easily. Before they entered the dark universe, Luo Heng shared a message which he had just received. The appearance of the Spectre Secret Realm? Jiang Ming frowned. Yes, it's the Spectre Secret Realm. Luo Heng nodded. It's the message that I received from my senior brother. It's also been shared on the intranet, causing an uproar. It just appeared at the border of the human race. Brother Jiang, do you want to go? Jiang Ming asked back. Of course. Luo Heng nodded and then shook his head. But I'd be a small fry only if I were to go. Alas, the appearance of the Spectre Secret Realm is akin to an adversity. Even with my current cultivation base, I can merely be a spectator at the outer circle. Indeed. Jiang Ming hesitated. He wanted to visit the human race's region and gain knowledge and experience about the wonders of the universe, but at the same time he wanted to go around the Spectre Secret Realm too. He learned from Yuan Qi's memory that the Spectre Secret Realm was a peculiar secret realm. Each time it was opened, its location would be different. It would also produce a great amount of rare items of the universe, hence attracting millions of clans competing against each other to enter into it. Of course, such a great encounter was accompanied by great dangers. Each opening would take away the life of more than half of the living beings who entered into it. The worst death ratio was even up to 95%, which was horrifying. Each opening lasted only for 1,000 years. Everyone entering would be expelled out when time was up. Luo Heng collected more information and shared some of the secrets he had found. The Spectre Secret Realm only prohibits the entrance of the supreme experts, and nothing else. The secret realm would have many rare items of the universe and peerless divine weapons. A supreme vessel used to be found, and that created a massive uproar. Some inference said that the Spectre Secret Realm is connected to the origin of the universe, or it wouldn't have so many precious items of the universe. Of course, the strongest evidence for this inference is that the location of the Spectre Secret Realm is different each time. Based on the statistics, its locations are distributed throughout the universe. Moreover, there is no place other than the origin of the universe that is capable of producing such a great amount of treasures of the universe. Alas, that's a desirable place. The time interval between each appearance would take at least millions of epochs. An epoch is equivalent to 129,600 years. Sometimes it'd even take 10 billions of epochs. The next opening after this would take a very long time. Alas, it'd be best if it opens only after 10,000 years. By that time, I'd have a higher competence to enter. Luo Heng sighed as he said, I think this inference is most likely the truth. Jiang Ming nodded. The various conditions of the Spectre secret realm itself were pointed at the origin of the universe. He beamed. Since it can produce supreme weapons like the Supreme Vessel, its fortune must be extraordinarily terrifying. Fortunately, it prohibits the entrance of supreme experts. Brother Luo, let's go find out since you want to go. This is awesome, Brother Jiang. Appreciate that. Luo Heng was ecstatic. The spaceship turned towards another direction and began to accelerate. Upon reaching light speed, it tore through space, entering into the dark universe. The dark universe was a vast, open space without any materials or objects. Hence, the spaceship could accelerate at an almost infinite speed. There wasn't any limitation. The speed of the 6th grade spaceship which Luo Heng and Jiang Ming had boarded had quickly been increased up to 300 times of light speed. Such was absolutely unbelievable. Moreover, it was very magical here. 1 mile here corresponded to 480 million miles outside. Wouldn't two spaceships collide head-on under such high speed? I think the collision would even kill a golden immortal. Yang Ming doubted. Such a probability is extremely low. Luo Heng giggled. The dark universe is of a similar size to the vast and infinite universe. Moreover, the number of spaceships that could traverse the dark universe is just like a sand grain in the vast sea. Simply put, it's 2 sand grains crawling like snails in the vast sea. Tell me, do you think they would collide? Well, the universe is indeed too vast. While checking out the map of the human race's region projected out by Luo Heng, Jiang Ming was extremely shocked even though he was very knowledgeable. A star was akin to a sand grain. In fact, it was smaller. The star galaxy, star river, star sea, and star field. The region of the human race was extremely vast, for it consisted of 3,600 star fields. A star field had a universal empire, which ruled over dynasties, kingdoms, and live planets. A mere universal empire could occupy numerous live planets. How long does it take to reach that place? Jiang Ming sat with his leg crossed, picked up a glass of wine, and enjoyed it. Inside the spaceship had various types of entertaining facilities. It was in fact almost all types. I think it'll take about 30 years. Luo Heng roughly calculated. Based on the coordinates, we would just need to go in this direction. So long. Jiang Ming was surprised. The universe is too huge. If it wasn't for this spaceship, we'd need to travel for up to 1,000 years. Luo Heng smiled wryly. Brother Jiang, what about we check out the virtual world of the human race first? Hold on, Jiang Ming said. Let's just return to the universe. I'll try if I can tear space to reach the place directly. Alright, Luo Heng nodded. The spaceship gradually slowed down. After some adjustment, it went into a barren area based on the coordinates. Then it was slowed down to below light speed, allowing the spaceship to take a leap back into reality. Then it was completely halted. The duo walked out of the spaceship, into the dark and icy cold space. There was a star burning with eternal flame in the distance and some barren planets nearby. Jiang Ming grabbed, and a planet flew over swiftly. Meanwhile, it shrank at fast speed to the size of a marble upon landing on Jiang Ming's hand. Jiang Ming flicked, and the marble was shot out at fast speed. In just a while, the star in the distance abruptly exploded, producing a massive fireworks display. It was fortunate that no living things were around the region. Brother Jiang, you're merely a realm higher than mine. But why do I feel that the gap between us is so huge that I'm ashamed of myself? Luo Heng lamented. I'm just accumulating more. Jiang Ming smiled. The future you will be capable of suppressing the entire universe without much effort. Suppressing the universe? Luo Heng was longing to achieve it. Meanwhile, Jiang Ming closed his eyes, releasing his consciousness to merge into the void and permeate through layers of space. In just a moment, his consciousness had traversed the star galaxy, star river, star sea, star field, and extended to the boundless distance. At this moment, some experts in the human race's region sensed such a supreme might. They were all stunned, but when they tried to sense it further, they discovered that it had utterly gone. Especially Luo Heng, who was nearby, his body froze, unable to move a bit. The power of this power made Luo Heng's thinking seem to stop, and his soul extremely horrified. It's unbelievable that Brother Jiang has such a strong power of soul. Luo Heng had truly felt the terror of Jiang Ming this time. He believed that Jiang Ming was capable of conquering the world and being invincible with his power of soul alone, the spirit, will, and soul. Luo Heng was somewhat enlightened. He had also found a way to improve in the future. He learned that these 3 elements were one. The heart was the root, the soul was the carrier, and the will was the use. Jiang Ming opened his eyes, withdrew all his power, and beamed. I've understood the rules of Tao of your world. I can manipulate the space to teleport. However, further detailed coordinates are needed for comparison before taking a detour. The more detailed the star map, the better. Okay, I'll get one from my master. Luo Heng responded immediately. With a thought, he entered the virtual world. He not only contacted his master but also his senior and junior brothers. Many of his senior brothers were of the Starfield level. Some had even entered the Star Sea level. In just a while, Luo Heng had obtained a star map with more details. Luo Heng withdrew his consciousness and immediately projected it out, forming a 3D map. Jiang Ming scanned through the map to identify the coordinates of their location and identified a road. Jiang Ming had Luo Heng keeping the spaceship, rolled him and teleported. Teleportation meant that he merged into a spatial node and leaped from one to another. When they reappeared, they had traveled over 300 star fields. They eventually halted after a few leaps. Luo Heng stood beside Jiang Ming, feeling very dizzy. He felt that the teleportation was somewhat unbearable. If it wasn't because of Jiang Ming's protection, he would be torn to pieces by the power of the space backlash. After he recollected himself, he looked into the distance and was surprised. Is that the entrance of the Spectre's secret realm? Yes, we've arrived. So fast. No, it's too slow. If I can further familiarize the time and space law of your world, we just need to teleport once to get here. You're amazing. What else could Luo Heng do? He directly gave Jiang Ming a thumbs up. It was a barren starfield. The surrounding was extremely empty with merely few planets around. However, there was a meteorite belt on the left side which was tens of millions of miles long and was moving rapidly. At the front was an incomparably huge, colorful vortex. It was overflowing with flowing lights of various types. The diameter of the vortex was 1 light-year big. Jiang Ming knew that the vortex was the entrance to the Spectre's secret realm. It had yet to open officially, but it had been surrounded by a great number of experts. Each and every one of them had intimidating auras. Some of them had a weird physical shape, but most were in the form of a human. They were obviously waiting for the opening of the secret realm. Before Jiang Ming and Lu Heng went forward, a sweeping glance was casted at the duo and was locked at them after a short pause. The next moment, someone dashed towards the duo and stopped somewhere in front of them. The comer had a tiger head and a human body, an expert of the demon clan. Many of the experts of the demon clan thought that having the head of the beast and human body indicated they were of higher status than the human race. You are Luo Heng from the human race. He spoke in a very loud voice without any concealment. Hence his voice was spread out even though they were in free space. Divine power oscillated and the void rippled. As he used an affirmative tone, it was obvious that he used to see Luo Heng's portrait. Shi Luo sent a message that he was about to be killed by Luo Heng of the human race. Then Yuan Shi went and his life imprint disappeared shortly after that. Tell me, how did Yuan Shi die? Beside him, many experts of the demon clan gathered. Every one of the expert was no weaker than level Star C. Jiang Ming and Lu Heng were besieged by the experts of the demon clan. Every member of the clan were staring at Lu Heng, yearning to swallow him whole. Their invincible might emitted naturally had confined the void around, attracting other experts' attention in the distance. Unfortunately, none of them knew Jiang Ming nor Lu Heng, who was, after all, a little kid. Even though Lu Heng was a genius of the human race, he wasn't recognized by the strong experts in the human race because he was still too weak. Brother Jiang, I used to see this person in the map of other clans' experts. He is Shi Kuang, the great demon at the pinnacle stage of Star Sea leveled. Luo Heng introduced openly as if nobody was around. The rest are the experts of the demon clan. Cosmic experts may be present among them, I'm afraid. What do you think, Brother Jiang? Shi Kuang? Jiang Ming felt rather strange. He used to kill a demon, who was also called Shi Kuang in his world, and that demon was of the quasi-sage realm. Yet the Shi Kuang in front of them was merely of a great overarching golden immortal realm. A small fry. Nothing. Jiang Ming laughed. They're just merits. Luo Heng guffawed. He even felt rather high-spirited. Previously, when he met such experts, he had to be a coward. But now, with the presence of Brother Jiang, these great demons in front of them were merely merits. He felt it was so exciting. He believed that he would become more prestigious after the battle later. Any young man would want to be prestigious whenever given a chance. In fact, Luo Heng thought that he was still young, had time to further improve himself. Of course, he liked the feeling of being prestigious too. Even though he was mature and kept relatively low profile most of the time, he felt high-spirited with what was happening. I'll be a spectator. As Luo Heng said, armor appeared on his body. He then shook his head. No, this isn't sufficient. I'll die instantly in such a battle regardless of how strong my defense is, but I wish to watch it. Brother Jiang, do you have a perfect solution? You'll just need to stay with me. I'll ensure your safety. If there's any danger, just go there, Jiang Ming said. Great. Luo Heng took 2 steps forward. Nevertheless, Luo Heng remained worried. Shi Kuang went into a frenzy. He was, after all, a strong Star Sea expert of the demon clan. He was also a notable, influential person in the entire universe. But Shi Kuang was disregarded completely by the two kids in front of him, who also despised Shi Kuang and the other experts of the demon clan. You brats of the human race, I've never seen such arrogant people like you two. I'm respected by even Pan Wang, but you two have seen me as a fish on a chopping board. Yes, you're a fish yourself. No, you are a lion instead. Jiang Ming looked at Shi Kuang as though Shi Kuang was his food. The Yuan Qi you mentioned earlier was killed by me. Oh no, I haven't killed him yet. I've just imprisoned him. I'll cook him when I'm free. Would you like to taste some? No, I think both of you should be each other's company instead. I'll use him as an ingredient of a dish while you another. Fuck. An expert with an eagle head by the side of Shi Kuang was the first to be enraged. He immediately took his move. He distorted the space with a wave, forming an arc which cut directly on Jiang Ming and Luo Heng. This strike didn't look powerful, but it was extremely terrifying. The eagle-headed demon was also a great demon of a star sea, but he was at the initial stage only. Jiang Ming lifted his hand and burst the eagle-headed demon in an instant. The eagle-headed demon died tragically on the spot, his body scattered into pieces and his blood permeated the air. Shi Kuang and the other great demons were frightened at what they had just seen. They could barely believe that Jiang Ming could kill a Star Sea expert with just a strike. Since I've taken my move, I shall let every one of you to go accompany him. As Jiang Ming said, his body grew taller at about 100 feet in just a blink of an eye. Although Jiang Ming's height wasn't considered very tall, his outburst aura was like the torrent, poured out to all directions, distorting the void, causing lightning and thunder. It seemed that even the space couldn't bear Jiang Ming's majestic force, which also shocked all other experts watching him. That's purely the power of physique. Shi Kuang was forced to retreat and his expression horrified. The demons were proud of their physique. They had strong bloodlines, particularly the bloodline of their royal family, whose genome was far better than that of the human clan. They might be unable to suppress the human expert of the same level, but they had a huge advantage. However, Shi Kuang realized that Jiang Ming's physique was more horrifying than his. In fact, it was incomparable. Die, all of you! Since Jiang Ming had made his move, he didn't want to show any mercy. As Jiang Ming punched, the heaven and earth roared and a void vortex formed directly in front, which seemed to be capable of indrawing all stars. There were also people of different roles such as fishermen, woodcutters, farmers and scholars, and nature such as hills, mountains, and rivers. It was the holy civilization fist, controlled by the strongest physical body and the boiling blood, had made the power of this punch extremely terrifying. Golden Shield, defend. 9-level Thunder Pagoda, defend. Shi Kuang was extremely terrified. He wanted to dodge the attack, but he realized the sticky surroundings had prevented him from tearing the space, let alone to escape. Hence, he quickly took out his defending treasures and evoked supreme defensive means simultaneously. Unfortunately, all his efforts were insufficient to block out Jiang Ming's punch. The golden shield glittering with golden luminance was scattered. Even the defensive thunder Shi Kuang condensed, failed to withstand the punch. Hence, Shi Kuang was punched to death instantly. Shi Kuang was not the one who died tragically on the spot. About 5 demon clans experts nearby too were killed. Their incomparably strong physiques were drawn into the vortex and were crushed by the strong grinding force. Even their souls didn't manage to escape. Jiang Ming didn't stop after the first punch. He punched continuously until he bashed all demon clans experts in the surroundings to death. Damn, stop it. A cry was heard. A giant jaw that filled the space was directed at Jiang Ming. It's become more interesting with the arrival of a stronger one. With a thought, Jiang Ming sent Luo Heng to his shoulder so that he could better protect him. Be careful, brother Jiang. Luo Heng reminded Jiang Ming, but he was frightened. The giant claw hitting towards them had condensed a supreme power of destruction. This made Luo Heng feel like he was collapsing. Fortunately, he had Jiang Ming's protection. Don't worry, as Jiang Ming said, he punched and burst the giant claw. How's it? Jiang Ming asked with a smile. Wow, this is so amazing. Luo Heng gave his thumbs up and exclaimed, based on the power of the claw just now, it's from the cosmic expert. I think it's the Goldwing Grand Rock of the Demon Clan. It's a terrific expert called Jin Diao. Its speed was incomparable, its physique invincible. Its pair of jaws in particular could tear all things. It was the strongest and the most terrific existence in the entire universe. Yet you blasted its jaw it took pride in with a punch. Amazing, you're truly amazing. Luo Heng was sincere in his compliment. I'll kill him later. Jiang Ming was satisfied with the punch. Jiang Ming's physique was surely strong. In fact, cultivating Grand Path Almighty Method Sutra would temper and strengthen his physique, but not up to this stage whereby he could defeat a quasi-sage expert. But Jiang Ming was different. He had comprehended 3,000 laws. Each law he comprehended would strengthen his physique by a little. Especially at the end when he managed to comprehend 3,000 laws, 3,000 Dao maps would be imprinted in his flesh, transforming his physique into a truly terrifying level. Even Jiang Ming couldn't estimate how strong his physique was. but he knew that his physique was absolutely no weaker than his cultivation base of his inner world. The punch just now was proof. When my inner world is sublimated to the limit and evolved to the middle chiliocosm, my cultivation will skyrocket, and my physique will undergo a new baptism. By that time it's time to really rise. As Jiang Ming thought, he saw the furious Jin Diao flying over. Jin Diao's smashed claw was regrowing. As he morphed into a human form, he was engulfed with anger. A long spear appeared in his hand, laced with an aura that radiated its sharpness. The burst of power radiating from it tore up the space around layer by layer, rolling up into a storm. Lowly human. Jin Diao's tone of voice was extremely cold. As he paced forth in the void, every step he took created a black hole underneath his feet. His power rose to the extreme. Its intensity felt as though it shook the star river and oppressed the universe. Jin Diao's overwhelming aura traversed into the vast surrounding, causing the meteorites in the distance to suddenly solidify and explode into a pile of dust. With this remark of yours, I'll kill you for sure even if you escape into the chaos. Jiang Ming's expression turned cold. To Jiang Ming, the human race was not lowly but of the greatest race of all. It was a race incomparable by any other races or clans throughout infinite realms. Not even the innate saint spirit. The greatness of the human race could be proved by looking at the other races or clans living in the billions of realms across infinite time and space. Which of them didn't morph into human form in the end? As a member of the noble human race, Yang Ming was not being arrogant, and yet Jin Diao belittled the entire human clan. Yang Ming resented Jin Diao's despisal and wanted to kill him as a punishment. Brother Jin is right. How dare such a feeble human kill the sons of my demon clan? How can we let him live? Another expert of the demon clan made his arrival, tearing apart the space. The aura that was radiating from this expert was no weaker than that of the Jin Diao. His pair of eyes in particular was actually radiating with a gray luminance, corroding the space into numerous potholes. It's not only him that must die. We shall kill the other human experts in the surroundings one by one. This expert of the demon clan was even more ruthless. Shang Mang, let's see who will be killing who today, shall we? A stream of luminance shot over their direction, landing right beside Jiang Ming. This person was clad in silver armor and had long, wavy hair that gave off a feeling of graceful demeanor. The aura radiating from his body, however, was not weak at all. After giving his name, Jiang Ming smiled and said, "Brother Zhao, this is my battlefield. You can just watch the battle on the sidelines." No. Upon hearing Jiang Ming's remark, Zhao Changkong frowned. Jin Diao, this bird person has slandered our human race. Hence, this is no longer the matter of you alone. Such a remark from Zhao Changkong increased Jiang Ming's likability of him. Jiang Ming then said, "Let's kill him then." Yes, a silver spear suddenly appeared in Zhao Changkong's hand. I've long disliked this bird person, but unfortunately didn't have a chance to make a move. With you around today, let's kill him. There's also that Shang Mang. This beast cub is even more damn. Back then, he secretly intruded into the territory of our human race and swallowed a galaxy of humans in one go. He was hunted down by our peerless experts, but managed to hide himself back in the demon clan's lair. Although there was a big battle, we weren't able to kill him off. Never would I have expected that he dares to show his face here. Let's kill him off as well. Kill us off? Jin Diao sneered. Zhao Changkong, let's see who's killing who today, shall we? Zhao Changkong. Because of that remark of yours, after killing you here, I will head on to the territory of the human race and swallow up at least a whole empire of human beings. Xiang Mang revealed his cruel and ruthless self. With the power from the human race's bloodline, it will help me to improve my cultivation even further. Die. Jiang Ming couldn't put up with him any longer as he went ahead and launched his attack. This time, a sword could be seen appearing in his hands from thin air. It was the Demi Sage weapon, the Heavenly Emperor's sword. As soon as Jiang Ming brandished the sword, the color of sky changed immediately. It was followed by the universe trembling. Jiang Ming fully integrated the power of cultivation as well as physique into the sword. The sword split through the sky and landed on top of Shang Mang's head. At the same time, with a flash of thought, Jiang Ming evoked the Celestial Heart Sword, initiating the Soul Technique. Jiang Ming was really giving it his all this time. Die. On the other side, Zhao Changkong also made his move as the flick of the spear sent off a shocking blow at Jin Diao. Just like you, I use a spear as well. Let's see whose spear will be meeting its end here. Jin Diao snorted as he stabbed onwards with his spear, penetrating into the void. As the tips of the spears collided, the exchange set off an endless torrent into the surrounding, tearing open a spatial fissure that went on thousands of miles away. The two were shaken back by the collision at the same time. While they were preparing to take their second move, they turned to another direction at the same time, with a face filled with shock. The mighty Shang Mang, a supreme quasi-sage expert of the universe, was hacked from the ground up by Jiang Ming's sword and died tragically on the spot. It didn't matter which defensive tool or any supreme treasure Shang Mang had used, they were all useless against Jiang Ming's attack. To think that such a puny beast still dares to eat humans. The look on Jiang Ming's face was ice cold. Shang Mang, who was standing in front of him, had already returned to his true form. It was a terrifying figure that extended into millions of miles away. Such a great ingredient. This can be eaten for a long time. If I take it back to the sect, this will definitely help their cultivation to improve rapidly. Jiang Ming chuckled as he kept Shang Mang's corpse. He then turned over towards Jin Diao. Jin Diao felt a chill run down his spine. Without even thinking about it, he tore open the space around him, wanting to escape. Trying to leave? Yang Ming sneered. His celestial heart sword transcended time and disappeared into Jin Diao's mind. Jin Diao trembled, and all of his 7 orifices were bleeding. This is a spiritual attack, Jin Diao thought. At the same time, the celestial heart sword had shattered the soul defensive Dao vessel in his mind, which caused his heart to almost shatter from fear. However, before his soul could escape into the cracks of time and space, the heavenly emperor's sword proceeded to split him in two. As a result, Jin Diao died. The 2 halves of his body also turned back into his original form of millions of miles long. His corpse was as huge as a planet, and his blood as much as sea. Jiang Ming grabbed and kept Jin Dao's corpse. Brother Zhao, are there any other experts of the demon clan around? I shall kill all of them together. The killing intent in Jiang Ming's heart was set ablaze, and it was difficult to restrain himself. Being here, the thought of restraining himself never went through his mind, and he never had the intention of laying low either. He would kill those who mess with him. There was one just now. As soon as he saw you kill Jin Diao, he fled off immediately. We can't catch up on him anymore. Zhao Changkong's face was still filled with shock. Never would he have imagined that Jiang Ming would be so terrifying. Those 2 were 2 cosmic experts, the strongest among all, provided the supreme expert didn't show himself. This was especially true for Jin Diao. His speed was unparalleled and was almost considered the best in the universe. If he were to intend to escape, even the supreme expert might not be able to catch up on him. Yet Jin Diao was slaughtered by Jiang Ming in a blink of an eye. So did Shang Mang. When did we have such a ferocious character within our human race? I've never heard of him at all. Could he have been cultivating in the chaos all this time and have only returned not long ago? That's probably it. Numerous thoughts kept running through Zhao Changkong's mind. Brother Jiang, with this battle you will become famous across the universe. I am afraid that you will also be targeted by many in the future. There are countless peerless experts among the demon clan, and they have many alliances as well. We human race also have quite a few enemies of our own. You must be very careful after entering the Spectre's secret realm. When you come out of the secret realm, you should immediately return to the territory of the human race. Otherwise, the supreme expert of the demon race will be putting their hands on you. Being besieged is the thing that I'm afraid of the least. Jiang Ming said indifferently. If the supreme expert of the demon clan makes a move, won't those of our human race do the same as well? They definitely will, Zhao Changkong said with a smile. It's just that when the time comes for everyone to make a move, it would be troublesome if you get caught up in it. Brother Jiang, I suggest that you return to our human territory now. You will be absolutely safe once you get there. If the supreme expert among the demon clan rushes over to our territory, it will serve as a declaration of war on our entire human race, the kind of war that never ends till one side is completely annihilated. The supreme expert making a move would lead to such an implication? Of course. This is because the supreme experts are too terrifying. Once they attack, the resulting fluctuations from their clashes can easily destroy a star sea and annihilate a star field. Who would even dare to act at will? There is also a common agreement among the supreme experts of the universe that they will never intervene in the matters of the universe unless their race is at the brink of extinction. If that's the case, will the demon clan's supreme experts still launch their attacks? Well, it's better to be sure than sorry. Furthermore, the demon clan has always had no credibility. If they secretly attacked you, who can you even look for to reason with? If they really forcefully attack you, who can stop them? That makes sense. Yang Ming nodded. It was not a possibility, but rather a certainty. Agreement was worthless at times. He killed 2 cosmic experts of the demon clan. This had already shook the foundation of their race. How would they let this be swept under the rug? The supreme expert of the universe. I really want to try meeting one, Jiang Ming muttered. Zhao Changkong raised his brows and was almost scared to death. He quickly said, Please don't, Brother Jiang. The supreme experts can easily kill those peak cosmic existence. Don't even try, let alone think about it. Brother Jiang, it's not time yet. Also, it's not too late to try and do so after you improve further. Luo Heng was also startled and quickly persuaded Jiang Ming not to act irrationally. Don't worry, I don't want to die yet, Jiang Ming chuckled. Right this very moment, something changed at the entrance to the Spectre's secret realm in the distance. In the distance, the void was split open. An old man clad in purple robe walked out of the rift as he landed on one of the nearest planets. He closed his eyes slightly, as if he was receiving transmission of information. During the besieging of the human genius Luo Heng, Shi Luo was killed. Yuan Shi, who went forth, was beheaded as well. Shi Kuang and the likes discovered traces of Luo Heng near the entrance of the Spectre's secret realm and were prepared to surround and kill him off. The result, however, was that they were killed themselves. Jin Dian and Shang Mang also made an appearance but were killed off as well. The killer was Luo Heng's companion Jiang Ming of the human race. How did such a peerless existence suddenly appear from the human race? There isn't any information or record prior to this. The old man continued to murmur as his brows were furrowed. Based on the information that he had obtained, a slight deduction led him to the conclusion that Jiang Ming of the human race was probably the peak cosmic expert. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to kill Jin Diao and Shang Mang with such ease. Alas, my two old friends, to think that both of you died together. Humans, if we do not take revenge this time, the prestige of my demon clan will surely be greatly reduced. It will even shake the foundation of my demon clan. I'm afraid it will be quite difficult to kill this child. I'll first contact the few rulers of my demon clan and then form an alliance with the other factions that are enemies of the human race to besiege Jiang Ming. He mustn't be allowed to leave the Spectre's secret realm. Also, there's that person as well. As the old man's thoughts were running through his mind, his consciousness penetrated into the void and sent out messages one after another. Among all the races in the universe, all of the top-ranking races knew the situation of the battle outside of the Spectre's secret realm. Many experts couldn't help but sighed. In the past years, cosmic experts usually wouldn't participate in a battle no matter how intense it was. There might not even be any such an expert in the entire universe who would die in an average of hundreds of millions of years, yet two died today. The world would soon be in chaos. At the Spectre's secret realm, blinding luminance could be seen swirling as Dao fluctuations rose into the sky, finally turning into a portal that spanned hundreds of millions of light years. It was extremely vast and could be entered from all directions. Many experts knew that this signified the opening of the Spectre's secret realm. Right that very moment, it was already possible for them to enter into the rift. However, Zhao Changkong and Jiang Ming didn't move at all. The two continued to chatter. Brother Zhao, how many supreme experts are there in the demon clan? Jiang Ming asked. 3, Zhao Changkong replied. They are all terrifying beings. They are invincible in this universe. Although he replied Jiang Ming, Zhao Changkong actually felt weird. He wondered why Jiang Ming, who was able to slash down cosmic experts, didn't know how many supreme experts the demon clan had. Although he was in doubt, he did not ask any questions. On the contrary, he answered every question Jiang Ming raised. After a simple chat, Yang Ming also learned a lot of information. For example, the demon clan here specifically referred to beasts. The botanical race was an incomparably strong faction. The star beasts were also not considered the demon clan. These two major factions also had their own supreme expert. Although they each had only one supreme expert, they were also among the top beings in the universe. According to Zhao Changkong, only one of the 3 supreme elders of the demon clan stayed in the clan all year round to prevent unforeseen incidents. The other 2 would be searching for great encounters in the chaos. This had been going on for hundreds of millions of years. The rest of the other factions were somewhat the same. The human race also had 3 supreme experts, with Pan Wang being the strongest among them. In fact, Pan Wang was even recognized as the strongest in the universe. He had made a name for himself as the strongest with his pair of fists that had beaten various peerless experts of the universe. According to Zhao Changkong, there's at least 30 supreme experts here. Upon hearing the answers to his questions, Jiang Ming couldn't help but be in awe. Jiang Ming couldn't believe that the number of supreme experts, which was equivalent to the saints, was a total of 30. Based on his speculation, a great chiliocosm could at most produce 7 saints in total. However, there were more than 30 of them here, which was obviously abnormal. Brother Zhao, is there such an existence that surpasses the supreme expert? Jiang Ming asked again. It is rumored that by breaking the shackles of fate and escaping out of the chaos, they can sanctify their Tao to a higher level. However, whether such an existence exists or not, no one knows, not even Pan Wang himself. Zhao Changkong shook his head. As he looked at Jiang Ming, his expression became more and more strange. He wondered why this person in front of him knew nothing. Luo Heng, who was standing right next to Yang Ming, lowered his head and smiled. He thought, "Oh, Senior Changkong, even if you break your head thinking about it, you will never understand. That's because Yang Ming actually originates from another universe. Brother Jiang, shall we?" Zhao Changkong pointed to the front. Although the treasures inside will continue to be revealed into the world, the sooner we start exploring the place, the more great encounters that we will be able to attain. All right, let's go. Jiang Ming nodded. He wanted to find out the wonders of the Spectre's secret realm as well. Zhao Changkong suddenly paused as he looked over at Luo Heng. He frowned. Luo Heng, I understand that you are the peerless genius of our human race. However, the chances of you surviving in the secret realm are very slim. He'll follow me, Jiang Ming said. Zhao Changkong shook his head. The Spectre's secret realm has an open secret, that is, you will be randomly placed in different locations upon entering. Is there such a thing? Luo Heng was shocked. Jiang Ming was also surprised. There was no such thing recorded in the memory that he took in. This is not a very secret type of secret. Zhao Chengkong explained. There is no record on the intranet. If you really want to enter, there is only one way, which is to keep the person in a supreme spatial vessel. After you get inside, you can let the person out again. However, with your current strength, it's too difficult for you to acquire great encounters inside. I fear that you may lose your life if you randomly encounter those of other races. Brother Luo, I can only aggrieve you for the time being. Upon listening to Zhao Chengkong's remark, Jiang Ming apologized to Luo Heng. All right, thank you. Luo Heng hesitated for a while, but agreed in the end. Luo Heng hesitated not because he was unwilling to be put away by Jiang Ming. He was afraid that he might be troubling Jiang Ming down if he went along. However, if he was not following them inside, he would be in real danger here on the outside as well. As the three discussed among themselves, they were flying towards the portal that leads to the Spectre's secret realm. Right this very moment, a terrifying aura could be felt behind them. It was accompanied by a thunderous roar. Wanting to leave? Have you even asked my permission? Jiang Ming turned around abruptly as his body turned into a giant again. At the same time, a stream of air flew out of his body, pushing Luo Heng over to Zhao Chengkong's side. A fist could be seen coming right towards them. It punctured the void and even formed black hole. The force set off storms that were sweeping through thousands of miles, distorting the void around the area. Inch strength 1000 punch. Jiang Ming let out a punch but was blasted 3,000 miles away from the impact. He could feel the tremors in his chest and the numbness in his arms. What terrifying power! Jiang Ming exclaimed. Long Jingyang, it's you! Zhao Chengkong blurted out when he saw a huge 9-foot figure walking towards them from the depths of the universe. The figure had 2 horns on his head, and his vertical pupils emitted a gloomy luminance. This person's naked arms were tangled with muscles that looked like steel cable, where the might that could even destroy the Star River was contained within them. Vague sounds of blood pumping through his blood vessels as though they were the turbulence of the Milky Way could be heard. His heartbeat felt as though it could collapse the starry sky. Of course it's me. Long Jingyang's voice was like a deafening bell. Long Jingyang, known to be the strongest of the demon clan below supreme experts. Jiang Ming also recognized him. Among Yuan Qi's memories, the information about this person here was particularly abundant. Long Jingyang was originally of the dragon beast. His physique had been tempered to an incomparably terrifying level, and was known to be invincible below supreme experts. His genetic level had also broken through the iron laws. Armed with only his pair of fists, he fought off with many peerless opponents all over the world. He was a peak cosmic expert. What's even more terrifying was that he even had an innate special ability. Now this is what I call a rival. Jiang Ming let out a smile. Long Jingyang's aura was on a rampage. With every step he took, the space itself shattered. At the same time, his whole body began to grow bigger until 10,000 feet high before coming to a halt. The dragon horns on his head and his eyes were akin to the sun and the moon. His single breath emanated special ability which sealed off the surrounding area, forming an area of confinement. Even the Spectre's secret realm that was at a far distance was affected by it, creating ripples of energy. The many experts that rushed over to the scene were all trembling in fear. They were afraid of being dragged into the skirmish. Upon seeing Long Jingyang, all of them took a detour to avoid him, entering the Spectre's secret realm from another direction. When I heard that you were the one who killed Jin Dian and beheaded Shang Mang, I didn't believe it at all. It's unheard that a human could kill the two of them. As Long Jingyang clenched his fist, the compressed air in his palm exploded, as though tens of thousands of thunders were striking at the same time. He looked at Jiang Ming as if he was looking at a dead man. It's you, Jiang Ming of the human race, the one who killed them both. Long Jingyang's rumbling voice was filled with incessant killing intent. I can't believe it, even right now. From this day forth, you will realize that there's a lot more that you won't be able to believe. Jiang Ming chuckled softly. However, his gaze was completely solemn. This person in front of him was putting a lot of pressure on him. At the same time, Jiang Ming's body was also growing up to 10,000 feet high, on par with his opponent. His aura, however, was obviously much weaker than Long Jingyang's. After all, there were still quite some differences between the two. To dare admit to your doings in front of me and not escape, I must say, Yang Ming, you've got balls. Long Jingyang sneered. Since you've killed my 2 brothers, I'll kill you even if Pan Wang comes over today. No one can stop me. Such shameless remarks. Zhao Chengkong snorted coldly. I'll kill you after Jiang Ming, you little hatchling. Long Jingyang merely took a glance at Zhao Chengkong, obviously ignoring him. Zhao Chengkong's expression turned gloomy, but he didn't rebut the remark. That was because he knew he was way inferior compared to Long Jingyang. Tell me, did you come from the chaos? It's impossible for me to not know you if you've been cultivating in the human territories, Long Jingyang asked. Jingyang, why bother yourself with him? Just kill him and be done with it. A deep voice could be heard coming from the end of the sky. A star could be seen swiftly approaching from an infinite distance. In a blink of an eye, the star had already closed their gap, being millions of miles away. In fact, that wasn't a star, but clearly a large giant that was engulfed in boundless flame. As the giant took a few steps more, he came face to face with Jingyang. This giant was also a terrific existence with a height of 1,000 feet tall. However, it had a strange body formed from rocks. These rocks looked as though they were red crystals of extremely pure quality, burning with the strongest of flames. Kill him. There's no rush at all. Long Jinggang replied, feeling as if victory was already within his grasp. Now that I've already locked my target on him and I'm practically in front of him, do you think he can still escape? I'm just curious, that's all. A person who's capable of killing Jin Diao and Xiang Ming, yet unheard of all these while. It felt as though he just popped out of nowhere. It just doesn't make sense. He's either someone secretly nurtured by the human race or someone that's been out cultivating in the chaos. There's only these two possibilities. The flame giant continued, rather than wasting more time, why not just kill him and be done with it? We'll take this opportunity to join hands and kill off all the human experts that have entered the Spectre secret realm. Haha, this is a great suggestion. Long Jinggang couldn't help laughing. He looked at Jiang Ming and said, do you know who this is? It doesn't matter who he is. Just by the remarks he made just now, his fate has been decided. It's death. Jiang Ming replied with an affirmative tone. Death? Me? The flame giant raised his huge palm and pointed to his nose as if he had heard a big joke. This puny human here is so ignorant. You've angered Long Jinggang and also wanted to kill me. Where does such courage come from? He is merely an arrogant person. Hu Hao Shen, I will kill him while you can go kill Zhao Chengkong. As both Long Jinggang's fists touched, the burst of power directly formed a black hole out of nowhere. Haha, alright then. The humans had long been eyesore to me anyways. As Huo Shen laughed, the flames around him suddenly expanded, reaching millions of miles above the sky. When seen from a distance, it looked as though it was a star. In fact, the aura emanating from his body was much stronger than that of the star. With just a huff from his breath, he could probably shatter meteors into pieces. Huo Shen of the Flaming Giants, how dare you strike? This domineering voice was radiating with boundless killing intent. If you dare make a move, I'll first kill you and then wipe out your Flaming Giant clan. There won't be any survivors left as I'll let you all go extinct. As the last sentence fell, a lady could be seen approaching from afar, landing right beside Zhao Changkong. This red-haired woman clad in red clothes looked like a ball of flame. Her face, however, was very pale, with streaks of red blushes on her cheeks. With that thin waist and voluminous chest of hers, she looked like a really hot little girl. Hong Ying, I'm relieved now that you're here. Zhao Changkong let out a smile. From my understanding of your character, you shouldn't have come so quickly. You really know me, Hong Ying replied with a smile and continued, well, I just returned from my training in the cosmic secret realm. When I have my 3,000 favorite concubines singing and dancing for me, I heard that the Spectre secret realm has been opened, but I don't care about it. When I heard that Jiang Ming, a rising star of our human race, killed 2 cosmic experts of the Demon Clan, I was so excited that I almost well, I'm afraid that the Demon Clan might scheme on him, and so I hurried over. The corner of Zhao Chengkong's mouth twitched. A strange look flashed through Jiang Ming's face as he thought, this little girl is no ordinary lady. She can become a buddy of mine. After all, she's also the master of a harem.
Hey, I just got here and I heard the howling and screaming of this blotch Huo Shen. He's really courting death.
As Hong Ying stared at Huo Shen, her immense killing intent was brought to flames. Hong Ying, you slut, why would I be afraid of you? Huo Shen sneered. Would you like to have a taste of a man? I am the venerate of the flames. I guarantee your satisfaction. Upon hearing such remarks, Hong Ying's expression turned cold. She looked over at Jiang Ming and asked, can you fend off Long Jingang? As long as he's not one of the supreme experts, I'm not afraid of anyone. Jiang Ming clasped his fists. He understood what she meant and said with a smile, just kill if you feel like it. Haha, that's great. I recognize you as my brother. After I slaughter Huo Shen, the two of us will join forces and finish off Long Jingang. Hong Ying laughed. She then turned around and threw herself at Huo Shen. Playing with fire? I'm practically your ancestor. Flame of desire, flame of heart, flame of demon, flame of calamity, flame of soul. Explode. As she raised her hand and grasped midair, a type of energy that was in Huo Shen's body suddenly exploded, causing flames to burst from his body. You bitch, you're courting death. Huo Shen's aura got slightly disoriented. He was also abnormally enraged. The two started to trade blows in an instant. Jiang Ming heard the swift introduction by Zhao Changkong. Hong Ying is the top peerless expert of our human race. The cosmic level is divided into elementary tier, mid-tier, high-tier, peak, and the pinnacle. She is of the peak tier, stronger than Huo Shen. She's bold and straightforward with great masculine traits. Although she may look improper, she takes friendships very seriously. You don't have to worry about her fight against Huo Shen. Long Jingang is at the pinnacle of cosmic leveled, hence he is practically invincible below supreme experts. If you really break into a fight with him, be sure to be careful. I'll look for an opportunity to attack and try inflicting heavy damage on him. Brother Zhao, you can just watch us fight with peace of mind. I'll be handling Long Jinggang myself. Jiang Ming replied to Zhao Changkong telepathically. Jiang Ming proceeded to pace forward as he walked over to engage his opponent. First there's Jiang Ming and then Zhao Changkong. Now comes Hong Ying as well. When I kill off the three of you, I'm afraid the human race will probably fall into despair for quite some time. Long Jingyang also made his way towards Jiang Ming. I shall take advantage of the opening of Spectre's secret realm to slaughter all the top-ranked experts of your human race. Let's see who the final victor is then, shall we? Jiang Ming's fighting spirit has risen to an unprecedented level that even his primal spirit was gleaming with luminance. The pinnacle of the cosmic leveled, when compared with that of Honggu Great Chiliocosm, was obviously corresponding to the demi-sage realm. He might have been frightened to go against experts of such level before, but now he was fearless. Jiang Ming was ecstatic, excited, and high-spirited. It was because his opponent didn't have absolute power to suppress him. Hence Jiang Ming was able to do his best in the battle. It was a battle which Jiang Ming had been yearning for. Let's see who the final victor is. Long Jingang chuckled. At the same time, armor appeared on his body. It had numerous divine luminance flowing out and turned into incomparably sophisticated lines imprinted on Long Jingang's body, abruptly obscuring his aura. As both of his fists touched each other, it set off a boundless torrent. He said, "You're the first one to confront me fearlessly. Hence, I'll give you a quick one. I'll blast your head directly. No, I shall crush you into pieces to be divided among my clan's members. As for your head, I'll make your skull into my glass wine so that I can drink wine with it." What a good idea! Jiang Ming smiled indifferently. His sight, however, was staring at Long Jinggang's armor. He could determine based on its aura that the armor was at least of a peak quasi-sage defensive treasure, and might even be of the demi-sage weapon. The defensive leveled armor must be very terrifying. Long Jingang was indeed very meticulous. He first evoked his defensive item even though he had an invincible physique. Hence, it was obvious that Long Jingang was not someone reckless, but he was absolutely haughty. "Long Jingang, may I ask if you are a true dragon?" Jiang Ming asked with a beaming face. Jiang Ming had armor appearing on his body as well. It was glittering with silver luminance, flowing with immortal fluctuations and breaking forth inscriptions that revolved around Jiang Ming before disappearing. The armor could defend him from all directions. It was the demi-sage silver luminance battle armor which Jiang Ming got from Tai Jian. Long Jingyang's pupil constricted, and his eyes were burned with flames of anger. He didn't rush to attack but stared at Jiang Ming's armor as he asked, "The grade of your armor is definitely no weaker than mine, but why haven't I heard it before? There are just a few peak cosmic defensive armor among millions of races and clans in the entire world, and I know all of them. However, I've never heard nor seen yours before. Now I'm even more assured that you are from the chaos and this armor you got from the chaos as well." He made a pause before he continued asking with curiosity, "Is this the plot of Pan Wang? Train members of the human clan in the chaos? Or discovered another universe?" "Another universe?" Yang Ming frowned. "Didn't you know that? Although it's quite secretive, but based on your background you should know about it." Long Jinggang became even more doubtful. "Well, since you don't want to tell me, I'll slaughter you to get your defensive treasure. With it, I'll definitely exchange it for a supreme offensive weapon." "Wait!" As Jiang Ming saw Long Jingang was about to take his move, he waved his hand. "Long Jingang, you haven't answered me yet. Are you a true dragon? Do you want to die faster?" Flames again were burning in Long Jingyang's eyes. Jiang Ming snickered. He wanted to further enrage Long Jingyang. Jiang Ming had already called up the human path record. Name: Long Jingyang. Race: Demon Clan, Dragon Clan. Golden Pangolin Clan, Dragon Pangolin Clan. Gender: male. Cultivation base: Pinnacle Cosmic Demi-Sage. Background: an elder of the Demon Clan in the Star River relationship. -93 innate talent. Supreme status: upon the formation of the universe, a strong being was born. He traversed Star River and soared through Star Sea with his tyrannical body and immense divine power. He was a true dragon. As the universe evolved and the Star River revolved, boundless great fortunes were made available. Hence numerous clans were born. Fighting for hegemony, slaughtering, and occupying territory were the norm even in the era of the universe. True Dragon was tyrannical, hence he gradually made a name for himself, and managed to be one of the top in the universe. He also attracted numerous experts of his kind and founded the Demon Clan. At the beginning, the True Dragon wanted to include the rare star beast and botanical race, but he failed to do so. As the Demon Clan grew bigger, he tried to create a clan of his own bloodline, but to no avail. He had an idea and began to put it into action. He looked for an extraordinarily strong clan in the universe, kidnapped a female with a high cultivation base, and started working on it. The True Dragon was ecstatic that he managed to have his offsprings, but he was enraged that these offsprings were of weird shapes, low intelligence, and spiritualism. He almost killed them. The true dragon ignored them, and was later regretted that his offsprings became incestuous, producing a group of dragon beasts almost without wit. The most well-known lineage among them was the dinosaurs, which used to become food for many clans. Feeling dispirited, he gave up to build a clan out of his own bloodline. He shifted his focus to compete for hegemony in the universe, snatch resources and luck to become the strongest in the universe. He called himself Long Qian. Long referred to his original self as a dragon, while Qian meant greatness, alleging that the true dragon would dominate the world and roar in the universe. As his territory grew bigger, he eventually had to deal with the extraordinarily strong human clan. After 30 million years of wars with the human clan, he had accumulated endless hatred, leading to a genocide. That war had exhausted many experts of the human clan and the demon clan. The war had resulted in the collapse of Star River, transformation of Starfield into chaos, and the expansion of the war location to numerous Star Sea. It ended up with the sudden rise of Pan Wang from the human clan, who crippled the true dragon with unparalleled power. The true dragon would have been killed if he didn't fall into a secret realm while escaping. Nevertheless, Long Qian was so severely injured that he was dying. He was fortunate to be saved by Jia Wan, a mutated strong woman from the Golden Pangolin clan. When she learned about the identity of Long Qian, she began to think whether she could produce an incomparably strong offspring by combining her mutated blood with Long Qian's bloodline. She was moved, so she took action and succeeded. Long Qian did the greatest thing while he was still in a coma. He found out Yin Wan became pregnant only after he woke up. His face was gloomy and he felt ashamed of himself. As the first true dragon of the universe and the general of the demon clan, he was actually being. However, because Long Qian later learned about the strong bloodline of Jia Wan, he had a hint of hope. While he was still in the recovery phase, his son was born. His son was a mutated individual with a dragon head and a golden pangolin's body. He was a dragon beast, in fact. Long Qian was furious, wanted to kill his own son, but he was stopped by Jian Wan. Hence he severely injured Jia Wan and left furiously. Jia Wan raised her son on her own, but because she found out her injuries were too severe and she wouldn't live long, she sacrificed herself with her clan's inheritance method. She merged boundless fortunes into her son's body, inducing mutation. Long Jingang was born. Prior to the death of Jia Wan, she passed her son an obsession to take revenge. She requested her son to temper the dragon head of Long Qian, who was ungrateful, ruthless, and cruel to even kill his own sons. Long Jingang had it memorized in his soul. In the secret realm of the universe, he grew up at fast speed. When he had grown up to a certain level, he took his mother's item and returned to the Golden Pangolin clan. However, he was seen as a crossbreed and was almost beaten to death. While lingering on and growing silently, he also awakened a talent, which was devouring. The talent allowed him to devour other living beings' origin to grow himself. Since then, he had revealed his cruelty. After numerous years, the entire Golden Pangolin clan had been wiped out. All of them had become the food of Long Jingang, strengthening himself. As Long Jingang looked back, there were countless bones and skulls. He then looked into the universe and cried, "Long Qian, I'll not only temper your head, I'll devour you too." As Long Jingang walked out of the secret realm of the universe, he was discovered by Long Qian through the connection between their bloodline. Long Qian got to him immediately. When he found out about the strong cultivation base and intelligence of Long Jingang, he was ecstatic. He said, "I, Long Qian, have finally got a proper son. My good son, I'll take you traversing the universe from now onwards and build you 30 million harem. I'll get you women from thousands of clans so that you can produce a clan." Long Jingyang was speechless, but he showed his obedience. It was not the time for him to rebel yet. He wanted to rely on Long Qian to grow until he was capable of revealing his true intention. Long Jingyang would act as a good son temporarily. Long Jingyang grew even faster under Long Qian's cultivation. Both his divine power and physique were almost at the peak for each realm. His innate talent was terrifying, his comprehension was supreme, and his bloodline was unparalleled. Hence he became the genius of the demon clan, who surprised the universe. He was capable of resisting cosmic experts while he was at the Star Sea level. Because of Long Jingyang's strength, he had quickly built his credibility and might in the demon clan. He also conquered surrounding territories, bringing honors to the demon clan. When he was of the cosmic level, he became an elder of the demon clan, got his hand on the true authority. The matter that the father was a supreme expert and the son the cosmic expert had become a beautiful story in the universe. Long Jingyang remained growing quietly. He would devour experts from other clans to strengthen his personal origin. He even went to the chaos and grew at a faster rate under his father's lead. He learned from Long Qian that the chaos was also known as the Sea of Chaos, and their universe was not the only one in it. They discovered two of the other universes, but he had no idea why they had been broken. As for whether there were other universes, Long Qian was assured that there were. It was because the Sea of Chaos was too big that no one knew how big it was. Moreover, there were numerous dangerous areas that even Long Qian, a supreme expert, didn't dare to enter. As Long Jingyang returned from the chaos, he had stepped into the pinnacle stage of cosmic level. He wanted to break the shackles to become a supreme expert so that he would have a certain degree of certainty in his own universe. He started cultivating quietly from the basics, but it was unfortunate that the breakthrough was so difficult that he didn't know what to do. Hence, he decided to continue snatching others' origins and further strengthening himself. He believed that he would have a breakthrough when he had accumulated to a certain level. When he was about to take action, he heard about the opening of the Spectre secret realm. He was excited. Even God's helping me. Alas, I heard from Long Qian that this Spectre secret realm is the place of fortune which is connected to the origin of the universe. I may be able to break through provided I've got some fortune in there. That old dragon is still in the chaos. After my breakthrough, I shall go to him, severely injure him, and devour him. Following that, he heard about Jian Diao and Shang Mang being killed by an expert of the human clan who had never shown himself. In addition to his curiosity, he wanted to obtain the origin of Jin Diao and Shang Mang to enrich himself, and kill a few experts of the human clan to snatch their origins in the preparation of his breakthrough. Hence he rushed towards the entrance of the Spectre secret realm without hesitation. Jiang Ming learned much information about Long Jingyang, but they were mostly insignificant. However, there were 2 points that surprised Jiang Ming. He didn't expect Long Jingyang to be a son of the supreme expert, the only true dragon in this world. Meanwhile, the other dragons were obviously being categorized as the dragon beasts. Long Qian was indeed very cruel. He didn't only want to kill his own son, he even severely injured Jian Wan, who saved his life and gave birth to his son. Jia Wan died eventually. Long Qian was absolutely someone ruthless. Another one was about the universe being surrounded by the Sea of Chaos, and they discovered 2 broken universes. Jiang Ming felt that it was very weird and guessed, the Sea of Chaos outside the Honggu Great Chiliocosm is a supreme world, but the Sea of Chaos here is indeed a chaos. It seems that the supreme experts here don't know about the Sea of Chao. Can it be that we are not in the same chaos? As soon as this idea appeared, Jiang Ming was agitated and quickly suppressed the thought. While looking at Long Jingyang opposite him, Jiang Ming smiled. Long Jingyang, why are you so furious when I ask whether you are a true dragon? Jiang Ming also took a sweeping glance at another side. He saw Hong Ying was still fighting against Huo Shen. However, this peculiar lady had overwhelmingly suppressed Huo Shen. The human clan here is extremely united, Jiang Ming lamented. I've decided, I want to devour you myself. A pair of gloves appeared on Long Jingyang's hands. Since you're capable of resisting my punch and confronting me fearlessly, you must be extraordinary. Hence you deserve my best attack. In the universe, who else can make me do my best other than the supreme expert? Alas, I'm feeling so lonely. Lonely. Since you've met me, your life from now onwards, no, not your life as a dragon and pangolin hybrid, you would never feel alone. Jiang Ming snickered. Long Jingyang's pupil constricted. Nobody knew his real identity other than his father, Long Qian. After all, he had devoured the entire golden pangolin clan. You want to kill Long Qian, right? Yang Ming said without concealing, hence his voice had been spreaded out into the distance. Long Jingyang seemed to have heard a joke that he couldn't help but guffaw. The vibration of his laugh vibrated out, crashing a star millions light years away. Then, he abruptly stopped guffawing and sneered. Everyone knows that Long Qian is my father. Without him, I won't be here today. In this case, why would I want to kill him? Jiang Ming, the way you're trying to sow dissension between us is so low grade that even I feel ashamed of you. Really? Jiang Ming said with relish. But why did I hear that Long Qian was the one who had killed Ji Wan? Ji Wan is your mother, a member of the Golden Pangolin clan. Prior to your mother's death, she wanted you to temper the dragon head of Long Qian, right? When I asked earlier whether you are a true dragon, you were enraged just because you aren't. You are the hybrid between dragon and pangolin. Hence, it's more appropriate to call yourself a member of the Dragon Pangolin clan. Fuck off. As Long Jingyang's scars on his heart had just been exposed, his rage hidden deep in his heart surged and overtook his senses. He took his move without hesitation. You're so easy to be furious, aren't you? A beast is indeed a beast. Jiang Ming smirked. His expression turned solemn. His power has been evoked to the extreme, and cast a peerless special ability at Long Jingyang. Jiang Ming had exposed Long Jingyang with just a few sentences. It wasn't a secret that Long Jingyang's father was Long Qian, the matter whereby the father was a supreme expert and the son at the pinnacle stage of the cosmic level, had been spread out as a beautiful story in the universe because of its incredibility. Nevertheless, nobody knew about Long Jingyang's mother. Now that her mother's identity as a pangolin had been revealed, all experts paying their attention here had a strange look. They had never thought that Long Jingyang was a hybrid between the massive true dragon and the pangolin, a mountain driller. They couldn't even believe that Long Jingyang intended to take revenge for his mother's behalf when they heard that Long Qian was the killer of Long Jingyang's mother. But they had to believe it when they saw the furious Long Jingyang, who was filled with concentrating killing intentions, terrifying power and deterrence. Would Long Jingyang kill us all if it was true? Many experts were fearful when they thought of such a possibility. Hence, they immediately plunged into the entrance of the specter's secret realm. It was their nature to be a busybody, enjoying watching the incident. However, when the incident became a threat to their safety, they wouldn't be enjoying it anymore. Long Jingang, I didn't know that you've such a past. Haha, I'll support you to take revenge on your father. Hong Ying had utterly suppressed Huo Shen. Hence, she couldn't help but tease Long Jingang when she heard Jiang Ming. Damn, all of you should be killed. Rage had completely overtaken Long Jingang. Boundless power rolled out, setting off layers of ripples like the water waves in the thousands of miles of space. There were even numerous long spatial rifts across the space, extremely terrifying. As soon as Long Jingang finished his words, his blow crushed into Jiang Ming's. Boom! The space collapsed. The aftermath of the two people's blows turned a million miles of space into a black hole. Jiang Ming was thrown out by the exchange too. Zhao Changkong immediately grabbed Luo Heng and retreated afar. At the same time he asked, "How did you know Jiang Ming? Both of you look like good friends." Jiang Ming is very strong, but he is kind and humble. Luo Heng explained, "I've been cultivating in the headquarters until I went on an adventure, but I was being chased after by a small team from the demon clan that I accidentally entered a secret realm, where I was saved by Brother Jiang. It attracted a series of revenge from the demon clan, and Brother Jiang was the one who killed all of them. Hence such a situation appeared." In fact, Luo Heng was in a great shock. He knew Jiang Ming had just got to his world, but he didn't know how Jiang Ming learned in great detail about Long Jingang. Through the facial expression of Long Jingang, it was obvious that those details were absolutely secretive. Could it be the privilege of the group admin? Luo Heng thought, but he was not assured. After all, Jiang Ming had given him too much shock. "I can see that Brother Jiang is kind even though I've just known him." Zhao Changkong nodded. "What's more, he is really strong. Extraordinarily strong. I think his strength is about the same as Long Jingang. Luo Heng, be prepared. I'll keep you whenever there's a chance for me to attack." "Okay?" Luo Heng nodded. Ha 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 ha. The guffaw of Jiang Ming was heard. He made a turn and plunged himself forward. "Great, this is so great. Long Jingang, come again." Jiang Ming felt wonderful when their power collided during the body combat. It was totally different while staying together with his junior sister. It belonged to men's romance and showed men's toughness. "I'll hammer you to death." Long Jingang was full of killing intentions. Hence he released all his powers as he roared, "War Hammer." Long Jingang slammed his fists and smashed forward. The power, like the whistling and roaring tsunami, surged towards Jiang Ming, causing him to frown and cast his killer civilization punch technique without any hesitation. Jiang Ming was trying to use the Tao of civilization as a means of killing. Jiang Ming was still a lot weaker than Long Jingang. If it wasn't because of the silver luminance battle armor, his shoulders would have been blasted. In this case, I shouldn't hold back any longer. Jiang Ming paced into void, radiating out Tao fluctuations layer after layer, which formed an illusional river at his feet. And he condensed three clones, the past body, the present body, and the future body. Immediately after the appearance of the three bodies, they evoked three different peerless special abilities. They were the Killer Civilization Punch Technique, 3,000 Cataclysm Fingers, and Entombing Sky Illusory Palm respectively. All exerted the best combat power of Jiang Ming combined. But Jiang Ming was shocked that none of his techniques worked on Long Jingang. "What a showy technique. Are you trying to tickle me?" Long Jingang smirked. His head flickered and turned into a golden dragon head. He roared and cast his natal special ability, the soul-destroying dragon roar. When Zhao Changkong at a distance saw the action of Long Jingang, he was shocked. A palace appeared before him where he dragged Luo Heng into it. At the same time he told Jiang Ming telepathically, "Brother Jiang, this is a means of soul attack irresistible by human power alone." As waves of sound were roaring over, they were wiped out by the luminance emitted out of the palace. Fortunately, the sound waves were not directed at them, yet it was still terrifying. Naturally, Jiang Ming found out what was happening, but he was not afraid. After all, the soul attack was the best attack of Jiang Ming. In his mind, he directed the power of his inner world to act as a defense mechanism. At the same time, he evoked the Stellar Tower, a means of soul attack up to level 10, its maximum capability. The sound waves directed at Jiang Ming merely caused the Stellar Tower to vibrate but not shake. Nevertheless, the three clones of Jiang Ming were wiped out. Jiang Ming frowned. So did Long Jingang. "To think that you can resist my natal special ability, I've indeed looked down upon you. Hence, I'll see you as my opponent." True Dragon Battle Body out. With a flicker of flowing luminance on his body had changed. Dense dragon scales grew out, and there was even one on his forehead. His dragon head remained, and his hands turned into dragon claws. This was a terrific battle body. Long Jingang's power increased by another fold. Dragon fighting stars die. Long Jingang got before Jiang Ming in a flash. As he swiped with his hand, his claws split the void, broke the chains of orders, and tore Jiang Ming apart. He turned around and kicked Jiang Ming out, who appeared on the other side with a burst of his strength. "How can you cheat me with your mere Tao of clones? Die." Long Jingang had completely blasted. Long Jinggang was extremely experienced in fighting, far surpassing Jiang Ming. Indeed a terrific opponent. Jiang Ming's blood surged, so did his fighting intent. He directly confronted Long Jinggang. Their exchange of punches and kicks made the surroundings into a mess. Dazzling divine lights and black holes occurred consecutively. The aftermath of their exchanges overwhelmed many spectators who retreated into the distance. Zhao Changkong wanted to help, but he was given no chance to do so. Even the battlefield of Hongying and Huoshen had been shifted into the distance. The destructive torrents burst out from the two battles had swept out to all directions, causing all stars within hundreds of millions of light years to burst into pieces. Boom! Jiang Ming was blasted out again. Blood dripped out of the corner of his mouth even though he had the protection from the silver luminance battle armor. This is the real opponent. Yang Ming felt excited. While he was in the battle towers of the Supreme Pagoda, his opponent only confronted him with special abilities. Hence, there weren't many changes and lacked extremely strong Dao vessels. Infinite Transcendence Technique. Jiang Ming again conjured the long river of history, evoked 3 clones which cast peerless special abilities upon their appearance. Meanwhile, he conjured another 6 clones beside him. All of them evoked space-time sealing, which stopped Long Jinggang from moving. The past body and the future body evoked another special ability, the infinite vessel manipulation technique, to disturb the luminance of his armor, greatly reducing its defending capability. Dao's extinction finger. Dao's extinction was made up of the extinction of the body, the soul, and the heart all together. The present body was evoking the supreme finger on the forehead of Long Jinggang's dragon head. Bang! Although Long Jinggang's armor was greatly affected, he still had layers of defense, yet they were all easily torn apart by the finger of the present body, allowing his finger to touch the dragon scale on the forehead. Crack. The dragon scale was cracked. Nevertheless, the finger was still greatly obstructed, especially when the finger touched the head. It was scattered by the incomparable strong power that surged out from the body of Long Jinggang. Long Jinggang had freed himself. He whistled and destroyed the present body in an instant. As he touched his forehead, there was a flash of divine luminance which recovered the cracked dragon scale. A pair of his eyes shot out even angrier luminance. You do have many special abilities, don't you? While looking at Yang Ming, Long Jinggang gnashed his teeth. You have even more divine vessels. Jiang Ming was rather speechless. He had never thought that Long Jinggang had a supreme divine weapon in his mind that blocked the finger of the present body. Besides, Jiang Ming had also discovered the fact that he couldn't kill Long Jinggang with his current strength. Long Jinggang's physique was after all too strong. His dragon bone in particular was even stronger. If I didn't have any divine vessel, I'd have been severely injured. Even though Long Jinggang's eyes were still burning with rage, he said in a calm tone, Your special abilities are weird. They are somewhat obstructed from fitting with heaven and earth, and they aren't like the common cultivating methods of the human clan. Jiang Ming, you should be a human coming from another universe in the chaos, right? Long Jinggang said in an affirmative tone. Is there any difference? Yang Ming smiled. But I do feel that you haven't done your best, have you? Long Jinggang abruptly guffawed. Bingo. Yang Ming, you're amazing. In that case, I shall kill you. Let's find out whether your special abilities are better or my means are. The 8 steps of dragon, with each step a world, and the 8th step burying heaven. Just when Long Jinggang finished his words, a peculiar aura permeated out of his body. As he took a step forward, he distorted the space, forming a terrific force field, shrouded all things in the surroundings. Jiang Ming felt the pressure coming from all directions, trying to suppress him as well. The restriction of laws and the restructuring orders made him feel as though he was sinking into the swamp. Long Jinggang was walking very slowly. However, each step he had taken increased the weight of the pressure by 1-fold. This special ability, Jiang Ming looked solemn. He directly retrieved his infinite transcendence technique and his past body and future body. His body shook and his blood boiled as he mobilized his power at a fast speed to resist the pressure. However, when Long Jinggang had taken the 8th step, the surrounding space and time had been distorted to the stage that the heaven and earth became hazy. It was like the pressure of the entire universe that had been pressing against Jiang Ming, causing his body to creak, and there was a tendency of collapse. It's indeed a surprise that you're capable of resisting it. Long Jinggang was somewhat surprised. He knew his move couldn't kill Jiang Ming, but he thought he could severely injure Jiang Ming because these 8 steps of dragon could evoke the supreme power of orders. He had never expected it to merely limit Jiang Ming's movement. Nevertheless, when he thought of the armor Jiang Ming was wearing, he was relieved. Let's see how long you can resist it. As Long Jinggang said, an axe appeared in his hand. It released the power of splitting the universe and destroying all things in an instant. Go die. Long Jinggang chopped directly on Jiang Ming like he was splitting heaven and earth. Jiang Ming was in a complete shock. He knew he couldn't resist the strike even with the silver luminance battle armor. Moreover, he was still being suppressed by the power from all directions, hence it was difficult for him to move. Do you think that you're the only one with supreme treasures? Emperor crown, out. Heavenly Emperor seal, out. A crown appeared on Jiang Ming's head. bursting forth a noble aura. As it connected to the silver luminance battle armor, they shook away all the power suppressing Jiang Ming. A jade seal flew out of Jiang Ming and hit at the axe. These two demi-sage weapons were from the Heavenly Emperor Tai Yuan. Boom! Amidst when the Heavenly Emperor's seal and the axe collided, it set off another boundless and destructive torrent. The power of the aftermath sent Jiang Ming backward. Even though he had the protection from the two treasures, the power that hit on him caused him to have an urge to spit blood. Jiang Ming knew that his physique was far weaker than that of Long Jingang. He thought of taking out the blood banner, but he held back. He was not confident if he could defeat Long Jingang even if he was to use the blood banner. Moreover, he was unsure if Long Jingang was to have other means to protect himself because he was the son of Long Qian after all. In that case, Jiang Ming squinted his eyes as his soul radiated out luminance and released the light of will. He was evoking the Celestial Heart Sword, a type of spiritual special ability. In just a flash, the sword traversed the destructive torrent and into the mind of Long Jingang. As expected, there was a supreme treasure defending his mind. It was a bell. The Celestial Heart Sword cut on it, releasing a soul-terrifying sound of bell. This sound caused Long Jingang to shudder, and blood flowed out of his 7 orifices. Long Jingang managed to defend himself, but he was still injured by the vibrations of the power. It's now, Return of Infinite Law Finger. Jiang Ming's eyes lit up. He traversed the void and got to the front of Long Jingang in a second. He raised his finger to condense a point of dazzling luminance at his fingertip. This point of luminance contained 3,000 laws and 3,000 daos. It made his finger unbearable, and even the gloves of the war god he was wearing made an overwhelmed groan, as though the gloves were about to scatter. In fact, the gloves of the war god was a quasi-sage weapon, even though it was an average one. The finger hit on the forehead of Long Jingang shattered the defending luminance of his armor and the dragon scale and pierced through his skull. When the finger was about to kill Long Jingang, a black light surged out of his body. The black light crashed the gloves of the war god and blasted the finger. The explosion sent Jiang Ming flying backwards and caused him to spit out a long river of blood. Jiang Ming stabilized himself, and he looked rather miserable. You fucking dog, you not only have armor, a pair of gloves, an axe, and that sole defensive weapon in your mind, which I think is a bell, you also have a supreme treasure in your body. He felt like having a mental breakdown. He had been plotting a lot before he could get a hold of his current possessions. Yet, Long Jingang had all types of Dao vessels of the pinnacle stage, not weaker than his possessions. At this moment, Jiang Ming was jealous, and his killing intentions got even more intense. Since you have forced me up to this stage, you must die. A pagoda appeared on Long Jingang, and he struck it at Jiang Ming directly. Jiang Ming's face darkened. Long Jingang was furious as his rage reached the limits. If it wasn't for the treasure hidden in his body, he would have ended up badly injured from the exchange just now. Jiang Ming's special ability was so overwhelmingly terrifying that it made his soul tremble and his will to crumble. As such, he did not hesitate to evoke the secret treasure that he hid the deepest within himself, the supreme treasure, Zhentian Tower. It was a defensive treasure that Long Tian gave him when they were in the chaos. He once told him to never use it unless it was a last resort, else he would be targeted by many other supreme experts. A supreme treasure was a treasure that would even cause a supreme expert's eyes to turn red from greed. As soon as the Zhentian Tower made its appearance into the world, its oppressive aura spread through the vast surrounding, dispersing into all directions of the world. Its overwhelming aura swept across the entire galaxy, traversed the star sea, and swept through countless star fields. It even altered the look of the sky as the boundless key in the air became disoriented. Even the entrance portal of the Spectre secret realm was fluctuating from the ripple of energy. Right this very moment, every one of the experts who rushed over for the commotion had a surprised look on their faces. Even Hong Ying and Huo Shen paused their great battle as they both looked over Long Jingang's direction, gasping. He actually has a supreme treasure. Hong Ying's little red mouth was trembling as various terrifying thoughts ran through her mind. What if she was involved in a great battle with some enemy in the future and that person suddenly evokes such a level of treasure? How will she be able to withstand its power? She knew how terrifying a supreme treasure was. If she wasn't able to block off its power, then death was the only thing that awaits. He was born with a great father. Huo Shen's face was filled with envy. He also had an extremely complicated expression on his face. Taking advantage of the sudden pause, he created some distance between Hong Ying and himself and continued saying, "With him in possession of such a treasure, you are doomed. You are all doomed. If your human race's supreme experts do not act, who can even stand against him? Or rather, even if the supreme experts do emerge, they won't be able to stop him. After all, with the presence of the Demon Clan and the Zergs, they wouldn't just stand at the sideline, allowing the human supreme experts to interfere. Haha, Hong Ying, you are going to die. You are really going to die this time. Die? Don't you worry, even if I die, I'm pulling you down with me." Hong Ying sneered. Huo Shen's expression turned ugly. Long Jingang was as pale as a sheet upon evoking the Zhentian Tower. Evoking such a level of treasure was extremely taxing. Coupled with the great battle that he was in just now, the exhaustion was even greater. Jiang Ming, you are the first person to ever force me to reveal my supreme treasure. To die under the Zhentian Tower, you can rest your eyes now. Long Jingyang roared. After killing you as well as Zhao Changkong and Hong Ying, I'll be visiting the cosmic experts of your human race one by one. As his voice fell, Zhentian Tower was already on top of Jiang Ming's head. Its infinite, boundless power of divinity was twisting the void, imprisoning the power of laws and reigned above the orders of the world. The earth-shattering power outburst was aimed directly at Jiang Ming. Do you think you are the only one who possesses the supreme treasure? Jiang Ming's shattered fingers have recovered to their original state. With a loud roar, he evoked the blood banner. It was a saint weapon which corresponded to the level of Zhentian Tower in this universe. Jiang Ming couldn't help sighing inside. In the status of Long Jingyang, it was not stated that he had any supreme treasure. Otherwise, he would have temporarily avoided the limelight when he appeared. The universe's limit was the demi-sage realm. Jiang Ming had finally witnessed how terrifying the power of a saint weapon was when evoked. It was akin to the proper attack of an ordinary saint expert. As soon as the blood banner appeared, it fell in Jiang Ming's hands as he proceeded to shake the banner violently. The flag unfolded itself, sending waves of bombardment towards the Zhentian Tower. The impact instantly erupted into a destructive storm across the surrounding area. Zhao Changkong's expression changed wildly. He was standing in a palace far away. He immediately transmitted his thoughts telepathically. I can't withstand such an impact between two treasures of such level. I'll be taking refuge in the Spectre secret realm for now. I see that you possess a supreme treasure as well. However, for treasure of such a level to be revealed in the hands of a non-supreme expert would be a curse rather than a blessing. Hence, you shouldn't enter the Spectre secret realm anymore to prevent yourself from being hunted down by the supreme experts of the other race. You should quickly shake off Long Jingyang and rush back to the core territory of our human race. I'll be taking Luo Hong with me for now. Don't worry. Zhao Changkong transmitted his thoughts in just a glimpse as he led his palace directly plunging into the Spectre secret realm. The two of them weren't the only ones who ran. The many other experts that rushed over to the scene also scampered into the Spectre secret realm to escape the terrifying destructive storm. Those who were further from the Spectre secret realm directly fled away. There were some Star Sea experts who didn't manage to make their escape and were dragged into the chaos. Their bodies were smashed into pieces on the spot, dying tragically there and then. Bang! As Jiang Ming waved the blood banner around, he could feel the terrifying force coming at him. The defensive power of the silver luminance battle armor shattered almost immediately. Both his arms were unable to bear such an explosion as they exploded into blood mist. Fortunately for Jiang Ming, such an explosion of power was actually a rebound of the explosion and wasn't an attack infused with Dao fluctuation. Otherwise, his two exploded arms might not be able to recover. Jiang Ming was also flown off millions of miles away from the exchange, while the Zhentian Tower was thrown out into the distance. You actually possess the supreme treasure as well. As Long Jingyang retracted his treasured tower, he stared at Jiang Ming with an ugly expression on his face. I'm now even more convinced that you're a being of other universes in the chaos. I even suspect that you have a whole cosmic of treasures hidden in you. Your words make me belittle you even more. Jiang Ming sneered. As he cycled through the power within his body, bloody mist vibrated in midair as both his arms quickly regenerated themselves. Regeneration of flesh and blood was a simple feat to Jiang Ming. He reached out for his blood banner again. The flag unfolds itself. Its slight vibration felt as if it could crush everything. Those remarks of yours, you're just trying to get the other experts to target me. This also shows that you can't deal with me. Jiang Ming's gaze were sharp as swords as each of his words was like a knife. Even if you cannot do anything against me for now, you should think about how to deal with me in the future. This is the attitude that a real peerless expert should possess instead of trying to pitch other experts against me. Long Jingyang's face turned even uglier. Haha, this little guy is right. Rather than dragging yourself down, it's better if you leave it to me for keeps. I'll protect you from now on. Right this very moment, a voice traversed the sky, followed by a huge arm that covered the star sea. The size of the palm was so huge that it looked as though it was a galaxy itself. The palm was filled with crisscrossing scriptures that interpreted into great formations as it grabbed onto the blood banner. The cohesion of supreme divine power froze the surrounding area and even stopped time itself. Even the power of the blood banner was almost sealed off. So this is the might of a saint? Jiang Ming's face was filled with shock. In the face of this palm, he had a feeling that he was a feeble ant, standing still against giant mountains. Without any further hesitation, he took out a bell-shaped Dao vessel and launched it against the huge palm. Right the very next moment, this quasi-sage-level Dao vessel abruptly exploded. The energy storm that was contained in it instantly exploded, forcibly shattering the huge palm into pieces. As Jiang Ming broke free of the shackles, he turned into streams of light, plunging into the Spectre secret realm without any hesitation, leaving a stern voice at the same time. How dare you? A supreme star beast attack me. Just you wait. When we meet again, I will be sure to slaughter your star beast lineage. Also, I'll be hammering you to death the next time we meet Long Jinggang. Right as Jiang Ming's voice fell, his figure was already nowhere to be seen. Long Jingyang was left with a face full of shock. To think that he didn't use all his strength in the battle just now. He can actually trigger the self-destruct of a cosmic treasure. What sort of forbidden technique is that? It must have come from the other universe. If I get my hands on such a technique, it's no less than a supreme treasure. No, I can't stay here any longer. Right as such thoughts ran through Long Jingyang's mind, he felt a series of evil thoughts directed at him. He immediately evoked Gentian Tower, flying right towards the Spectre's secret realm. As for Jiang Ming's threat, he didn't take it to heart at all. Not only Jiang Ming and Long Jingyang rushed into the Spectre's secret realm, the other experts such as Hong Ying and the likes rushed in one after another as well. However, they were also very shocked by Jiang Ming's techniques. They couldn't believe that Jiang Ming actually resisted a blow from the supreme expert, which was too incredible. In a blink of an eye, the surrounding experts disappeared from the scene. Even so, there were many traces left around the battleground. Those were Dao marks that contained various destructive auras that imprinted on the void. Even hundreds of millions of years might not be enough time for these marks to dissipate. This young individual of the human race, such great techniques. A middle-aged man in a golden robe appeared at the entrance of the Spectre's secret realm, sighed emotionally as he sat himself down. However, he could hear various sneers between his ears. With that, a terrifying battle came to an end. News of the whole battle spread around like wildfires. Jiang Ming of the human race slaughtered two cosmic experts, went up against Long Jinggang and emerged undefeated. The battle between them was mind-blowing and the both of them even evoked supreme treasures at the end. How incredible it was. Alas, the supreme treasures. These were the supreme weapons that could suppress the fate of a whole race. Just having one of these weapons would have allowed the race to be ranked in the forefront of all races in the universe. Generally speaking, it was impossible for non-supreme experts to possess such a treasure. Even the supreme experts did not necessarily have one in their hands. It didn't matter if it was the human race, demon clan, star beast, botanical race, machine race, zergs, pantheons, angels, divine beings, and the likes. All of them leapt into action upon hearing the news. Especially when they found out Jiang Ming and Long Jingyang had entered the Spectre's secret realm, even more cosmic experts rushed over. All of them had a thought that they might get a chance to obtain a supreme treasure in addition to the sky-defying great encounter in the Spectre's secret realm. Even some of the supreme experts sprang into action upon hearing such news, let alone the cosmic experts. With a flash of light, Jiang Ming directly entered the Spectre's secret realm. He passed through a layer of membrane as if he had traveled into another world. Jiang Ming found himself appearing right beside a lake. Surrounding him was a lush forest that was filled with constant howling of beasts, cries of the insects, and the fragrance of the flowers. He breathed a sigh of relief. That huge palm that appeared in the end made him feel very helpless. If he was pitted against a demi-sage, he could still trade a few blows. However, when facing a supreme expert, escape was the only option. By merely using one hand, a supreme expert was able to cover the entire sky and even confine time and space. This scene really showed Jiang Ming how terrifying the supreme experts were. That supreme expert definitely didn't try to catch me with all his might. He didn't even evoke divine weapons. If he really did that, I'm afraid I would have never been able to escape like this. Jiang Ming sighed. He was still too weak after all. Although I was able to overturn the Heaven Court back in Yi Qingxin's world, I still had to run off in a dire state. Even coming into this universe, the result is still not satisfactory. Jiang Ming couldn't help but shake his head thinking of this. Although he had always seemed negligent, he was very competitive at heart. Just you wait. Jiang Ming suppressed the many distracting thoughts in his mind as he began to assess the situation of this Spectre's secret realm. Before coming in, he had already learned more or less about the Spectre's secret realm through Zhao Chengkong. Zhao Chengkong was after all a cosmic expert and even came into this place once before. He knew quite a lot about the place here. According to Zhi Changkong, the Spectre's secret realm was like a superposition of many small chiliocosm. Each of the domains existed independently, but there were channels connecting to them. Through these channels, a person would be able to go to other places. If anyone wanted to leave Spectre's secret realm, the person would only have to fly thousands of miles above the sky in a beeline to exit. However, the higher the person reached, the greater the pressure the person would have to face and the slower their speed would become. Even with the strength of a cosmic expert, it would take the person a few breaths to escape the place. Merely a few breaths of time? Well, this was already considered a very long time to experts of such level. Jiang Ming looked up into the sky. He turned around and grabbed towards the lake. A water line fell into his hands, yet he didn't grab onto it. This line of water transformed into streams of air before merging into the void. Looking at a tree right beside him, Jiang Ming reached out and plucked a single leaf. However, the leaf suddenly vanished into thin air in the blink of an eye. When he looked back at the place he plucked the leaf had reappeared again. It's as what I've expected. Other than the treasures, nothing can be removed into the outside world. Once a native object is destroyed, it would still be restored into its original state in a blink of an eye. As such a thought ran through Jiang Ming's mind, he pushed forward with his palm, resulting in all the trees within 100 meters radius to be shattered. The suppressive force here is also very high. With that blow just now, a whole planet would have been destroyed, yet it only damages objects within a fixed radius. As he compared the degree of destruction between the inside and the outside world, he discovered that the deep pits and damaged trees were recovering rapidly into their original state. Interesting. That's right, there are also beasts without any wisdom. I'll be able to get my hands on some good treasures if I hunt them down. This is akin to playing games and hoping for treasures to drop. Jiang Ming smiled. He radiated his consciousness into all directions to have a sense of the surroundings. He realized that the coverage area was not large, spanning only 1,000 miles. His consciousness's strength was akin to that of the demi-sage's pinnacle. Right this very moment, the lake suddenly erupted and out came a long and skinny neck. There was a huge mouth revealing 2 rows of deep cold teeth as it launched forward to engulf him. It appeared all of a sudden and quickly attacked Jiang Ming. What followed was that the temperature of the surrounding space suddenly fell, creating a phenomenon as though the place was frozen solid. Even Jiang Ming's body became slightly stiff. The lake water, however, didn't show any signs of freezing at all. It was rather mysterious. Jiang Ming raised his hand, formed a palm, and slashed down the beast's head along its neck, cutting its body in half. The beast died tragically on the spot, and the blood splatter disappeared almost instantly. Its corpse disappeared soon after as well. What's left were the ripples on the lake with a bracelet floating on the water's surface. A treasure dropped? Jiang Ming raised his hands and grabbed onto the bracelet to take a closer look. He didn't notice any traces of refinement, nor were there imprints of it being used before. It was as if the item formed naturally from heaven and earth. Weird. Jiang Ming's eyebrow furrowed. As he poured his energy into the object, the item was refined in an instant. This item was akin to a great overarching Tao vessel where there were 1,000,000 cubic kilometers of space inside. It wasn't large, but the bracelet also had its own gravitational special ability. Once evoked, a gravitational field would be formed. This is not bad. Jiang Ming put the bracelet away. Trees, dirt, lake waters, beasts, and items born of nature. From the status of Long Jinggang, this place is connected to the origin of the universe. Is this bracelet really conceived by the universe itself? Are all of these around here conceived from the origin of the universe? Jiang Ming couldn't help but wonder. The power of the universe's origin. Origins! He pursed his lips as his eyes were filled with excitement. As he squats down, he pressed his palms onto the ground. A strand of root suddenly emerged from his palms, plunging into the soil. It was the root of the chaotic world tree. This strand of root was radiating with a gluttonous devouring power almost instantly. As waves and waves of energy were absorbed by the root, the soil beneath his hand was disappearing rapidly. At the same time, Jiang Ming could feel malicious intent from all directions. The air became thicker, and the pressure he felt became even stronger. There was even a repulsive force acting on him. There was no other damage to him besides those. I absorbed the power of the origin. The natural order of the universe naturally went into defensive mode. However, the origin of the universe is meaningless and can only respond passively based on natural order. As these thoughts ran through Jiang Ming's mind, he could hear the sudden increase in the roars of the beasts as they were gathering towards him from all directions. Waves after waves were formed by the lake beside him as marine beasts leaped out of the waters one after another. They were all charging directly at Jiang Ming with some spewing ice arrows, some spurting poisons, and many other forms of attacks. An illusory long river of history appeared under Jiang Ming. The past body, the present body, and the future body materialized at the same time. As they blocked off the attacks, these 3 clones began their hunt. Jiang Ming remained rooted on the ground with his palm against the ground, absorbing the energy. He segregated a part of his consciousness into his inner world and discovered that the chaotic world tree, which was already very mighty, was emitting waves and waves of luminance. Its branches were swaying and its leaves rattling. Atop the chaotic world tree, there were already 2,997 leaves formed, and there were only 3 leaves left from reaching 3,000 leaves. In order for the tree to grow, Jiang Ming spent quite a lot of resources over the past years. The saints would have gone crazy if they knew how much resources he poured in. What left Jiang Ming feeling helpless was that the further the tree grew, the slower the leaves were formed. Even till this day, there were still 3 leaves that hadn't grown out yet. However, Jiang Ming had a feeling that once all 3,000 leaves were all grown out, the Chaos World tree would inevitably undergo great changes, resulting in a qualitative transformation for sure. He even had a hunch that his own soul's metamorphosis would depend on this world tree. The world's origin is growing stronger as it absorbs the power from the outside world. These energy absorbed are almost completely taken in. The 2,798th leaf is being conceived. Jiang Ming let out a breath filled with turbidity, revealing a joyous look on his face. He was also more certain that the soil, trees, lake water and the likes outside were definitely conjured by the power of the origin of the great universe. Right this very moment, the present body threw over a piece of crystal. The beasts in the distance were already rushing over like tidal waves. It was a large area of sand. As soon as Zhao Changkong arrived, he noticed that there weren't any dangers around and let Luo hang out. At the same time, he said, I really can't resist the explosive force from the collision between the supreme treasures just now and can only escape into this place. He had a helpless smile on his face. In the face of the aftermath of such power, what could he have done with the power that he had? There was nothing he could have done. It was really terrifying. Luo Heng was still in shock. He saw the whole exchange clearly from the palace. The collision of such powers was more than enough to destroy the heavens and earth. It could have eradicated anything and everything in its path. If it wasn't for Zhao Changkong protecting him, Luo Hong would have definitely ended up dead with no remains behind. Yeah, it was too terrifying. Zhao Changkong sighed emotionally. Brother Jiang has supreme treasure, so it's not difficult for him to keep himself safe. We don't have to worry about him. From here on out, you must remember to follow my footsteps closely and never run off by yourself. Within this Spectre secret realm, you might be sent off to other dimensions if you take a wrong step. There are various dangers in the Spectre secret realm. For example, the outside world beings would kill off any other beings of other races if they stumbled upon them. If you can't kill them, then run. Also, there are a lot of terrifying beasts. These beasts do not possess any wisdom and will attack in a frenzy when they encounter creatures from the outside world. Zhao Changkong explained the situation in the Spectre secret realm to Luo Heng again. As Luo Heng listened quietly, he separated part of his consciousness at the same time to communicate with the Supreme Order and left a message to Yang Ming. Brother Gang, Zhao Changkong and I are together, safe and sound. Once you're safe, please return the message. Over on the other side, Yang Ming carefully examined the crystal that his clone threw at him. Upon closer inspection, his eyes lit up. The crystal was condensed from a kind of extremely pure and extremely high-quality energy. This is definitely the power of the origin of the universe. As Jiang Ming thought about it, he proceeded to throw the crystal into his inner world. It was not absorbed by the world tree, but was integrated into the world. The crystal was decomposed by the forces of order and converted into the resources of the world. This allows my inner world to actually experience slight improvement. Jiang Ming was very surprised. His inner world had already reached the limits of the small chiliocosm, and it was almost impossible for him to improve further for now. Such a strand of improvement was equivalent to him breaking the limits. This is really a land of treasures. Jiang Ming lamented emotionally and rose to his feet. The roots of the world tree had already been driven into the ground through both his feet. The roots were embedded deep into the ground and began to swallow the energy from below. Looking towards the sky, he could see gigantic beasts flying towards him from a distance. His three clones were standing high above the sky, evoking one special ability after another, slaughtering the ferocious beasts. Their corpses disintegrated and formed streams of air that disappeared into the void. However, various different objects were left behind on the ground. There were origin crystals, immortal treasured ores, divine weapons and the likes. Dark clouds swept through the top of his head as thunder began to flash. One after another, the thunder flashed across like dragons, brewing storms of destruction. That's so petty. I'm just taking some things from you. It's not even a drop of water in the bucket to you anyway, Jiang Ming murmured. Click, a thunderbolt landed and fell straight onto the top of Jiang Ming's head. Jiang Ming was rendered speechless. He shattered the thunderstrike with just one palm. Seeing the lightning flash again, he couldn't help being annoyed. With a wave of his hand, a long river of Dao vessels appeared. There were demi-sage weapons, quasi-sage weapons, great overarching Dao vessels and the likes, all of which were densely packed and really formed a river. Believe it or not, I'll detonate all of them. Jiang Ming snorted coldly and then took out the Supreme Order as well. By slightly evoking the Supreme Order, faint luminance could be seen radiating from it and an extremely obscure aura swept into the surrounding area. You won't be able to do anything to me. Click. After a while longer, the dark clouds above his head dissipated while the thunder went into hiding. Jiang Ming suddenly furrowed his eyebrows. Could it be that the universe gave birth to its consciousness? With him absorbing a little bit of the origin, the universe shouldn't have caused such a big reaction at all. There were way too many strange treasures unearthed here after all. There were even supreme treasures. The energy that he devoured was comparatively very insignificant. There were also thunders just now. It would have been fine if it was just a natural defensive response of the universe. However, for it to dissipate quickly after being threatened was completely unreasonable. If the consciousness of the universe is born, how can it be threatened by me? This river of Dao vessels of mine should have been insignificant to a universe that can give birth to dozens of supreme experts. Arg. It was giving Jiang Ming a headache. He thought he should forget and stop pondering about it. Instead, he shall just take advantage of the things here first and talk about it later. After all, there was a saying that a person who doesn't take advantage of the situation is a bastard. Jiang Ming was, however, still a little sensible. He didn't take out the chaotic world tree, but instead spread its roots through his feet into the grounds below him. The world tree was also a very terrifying existence. Its roots crept deep below rapidly, turning into a black hole as it swallowed the origin of the universe greedily. The fierce beasts in the distance stopped howling but still continued to charge at him rapidly. However, just when they got close, these beasts collapsed without even needing the clones to attack. Bulks and bulks of crystal continued to pile up. Old brother, now you're speaking my language. Jiang Ming opened his mouth for a bit and finally smiled as he gave a thumbs up and complimented. However, he was actually in extreme panic at heart. God damn it, does this great universe really give birth to its own consciousness? Jiang Ming shook his head. Who cared? The energy crystals were put away and integrated into his inner world, so that the origin of his inner world would be gradually strengthened. Gradually, as time progressed, his inner world slowly underwent metamorphosis. Jiang Ming began to inspect the spoils left after he killed the two cosmic experts, Jin Diao and Shang Mang. Good gracious, just putting the other items aside, the energy crystals stored in their storage were piled into mountains. Its quality, however, was far from being comparable to that of here. The difference was incomparable. However, they were still useful items, and he kept all of them into his inner world to be integrated within. Far in the distance, a Zerg's expert descended. As he stood atop 1,000 meters up in the sky, he gazed into the distance and suddenly discovered that a large number of ferocious beasts were all rushing towards a certain direction. The waves of loud roars coming from that direction even caused the ground to tremble. Soon after, a mountain that was not far from him suddenly collapsed. The mountain really collapsed. It didn't recover to its original state. This Zerg expert was shocked at first, followed by a feeling of ecstasy. Can it be that a great treasure has emerged itself? It's certainly not an ordinary one to be able to set off such a huge ruckus. Can it be a supreme treasure? As such a thought ran through his mind, he was flushed with excitement and turned into a stream of light, rushing over to the scene. It didn't take long for him to reach the place and discover that there was a young man of the human race standing mid-air above a huge pothole. The grounds below his feet continued to collapse. The lake beside him had already disappeared out of sight. Human, what happened here? The Zerg expert asked. Jiang Ming took a glance at him and ignored him completely. With his hands behind his back, Jiang Ming silently observed the situation here. At the same time, part of his consciousness merged into the world tree, realizing the changes that it was undergoing. As for the roots below his feet, it has long since vanished, merged into the void and took root in the ground. Human, I'll ask once more. What happened here? Was a supreme treasure revealed here? The Zerg expert asked again. A strange expression flashed through Jiang Ming's face. Supreme treasure. A loud roar could be heard as a spaceship flew over from the other side. This spaceship was golden in color. Although it was only around 20 meters long, it gave off a terrifying feeling to the people nearby. As soon as it got close, the spaceship quickly turned into a robot. This was actually an expert of the machine race. Ming looked left and right, somewhat curious. It was the first time he saw a Zerg. However, he had heard quite a lot about them in his past life. He heard that they were a ruthless, greedy, and terrifying race that only knew how to plunder, just like a real insect. But as far as the universe is concerned, aren't all races insects? As such a thought crossed Jiang Ming's mind, he suddenly discovered that there was an illusory and incomparably huge nest appearing behind the Zerg expert. An insect's nest was the foundation of the Zerg. They could nurture a huge amount of Zerg warriors in a short time. The machines on the other side piqued his curiosity even more. He couldn't believe that the machines, which were machinery, would have souls. It was ridiculous. Alas, the universe is just that mysterious. Jiang Ming couldn't help but sigh emotionally yet again. Human, Zerg, why is there such a big commotion here? Could it be that a supreme treasure has been unearthed? Where is it? Why can't I pick it up from my scans? As the machine expert said so, both his eyes were gleaming, scanning the surroundings again. His eyes were the eyes of machinery, a pair of eyes that could see through the object's essence. There is no supreme treasure here. Go away before I decide to take action. Jiang Ming's tone of voice was a little indifferent. He really didn't want to get into a fight right that very moment. It was a real waste of time. Little brat, you are really crazy, crazier than I am. The machine expert sneered. How dare you clamor in my presence? Do you think you are Jiang Ming? With such a big commotion here, a great treasure must have been unearthed. Come tell me, did you take the supreme treasure? It must be this human who snatched it. The Zerg expert suddenly said, Qi Ling, destroy him? Hey Chong-san, you go first, said the machine expert. You first. You came here first, you should go first. God damn it, Qi Ling, could it be that you knew who he was? Heh, you must have known. Should we? Of course. This is a chance of a lifetime. That's 2 supreme treasures. 2 of them. 1 for you and 1 for me. 2? Are you stupid? He has 1 and he obtained another one here. Isn't that right? You're right. The 2 continued chatting as if there were nobody else around. Jiang Ming couldn't help laughing. You know who I am, but you still have the guts to plot against me? Who gave you the courage? Strength, of course. Xiling sneered, no longer looking as unreliable as before. It's also because we're all done with our preparation. It's that sneaky arrangement from just now? Jiang Ming asked with a smile on his face. Of course. Xiling twisted his mechanical neck and actually made a creaking sound. It still makes such a pleasant sound. By the way, do you know of the arrangements I made? You mustn't. That's the ultimate weapon of my race's research. 2-dimensional foil, 3 measuring needles, 4 empty realms, 5 elemental destruction. Show yourself, my children. 2-dimensional foil, destroy him. 3 measuring needles, penetrate him. 4 empty realms, annihilate him. 5 elemental destruction, kill him. He roared at Jiang Ming as he waved his arms around. Mechanical weapons suddenly appeared in the void, one after another. Each of them were strangely shaped and were all emitting rays of destruction. Xiling quickly transmitted his voice at the same time. 2-dimensional foil can destroy galaxies. 3 measuring needles is even more powerful, capable of pinpoint attacks that can even penetrate cosmic-level mechanical bodies such as mine. 4 empty realms is even greater, where with a flash of its luminance, everything will be reduced to nothing. As for 5 elemental destruction, it can really annihilate everything. Jiang Ming, I've revealed all of my trump cards in order to deal with you. I won't believe that I can't kill you, even with your combat power comparable to that of Long Jinggang. How much power are you left with after you've just had a great battle with him? You must be extremely weak already. Haha. What's this called? Oh right, it's like what you humans say. To covet gains ahead without being aware of the danger behind. Die. Ling Qi's voice was filled with incomparable excitement. On the other side, Chung San also launched his greatest attack of all. His attack was much simpler. The tens of thousands of Zerg warriors that emerged from the nest behind him were all extremely powerful, where the weakest among them were of the Starfield level. They band together into teams, launching spiritual attacks at the same time. Their attacks formed a resonance, condensed into a point, and was amplified by a spiritual weapon evoked by Chung San, allowing the attack to reach a terrifying level. Chung San and Ling Qi were casting their destructive attacks from each side of Jiang Ming. However, he didn't take them both seriously at all. Jiang Ming slashed towards Chung San with the Celestial Heart Sword. Bang! As invisible ripples swayed in the void, Chung San trembled and his 7 orifices bled. His aura was instantly wilted to the extreme and his face was as pale as death. The 10,000 Zerg warriors behind him all had their heads exploded as they died tragically on the spot. On Jiang Ming's right, he raised his hand and swiped across. The special ability Great Protection Technique was evoked, blocking off the boundless attacks of Ling Qi. Why is it that you two like to court death? Jiang Ming sighed emotionally. Chung San and Xiling didn't mutter a single word as they turned and fled. If even their strongest attack combined was ineffective, then staying here any longer would only mean death for them. It's too late to think of escaping now. As Jiang Ming said so, the long river of history appeared again under his feet. He evoked the infinite transcendence technique which he had just dispersed. After all, the beasts were self-destructing, which meant that it didn't make sense for him to continue maintaining the technique. As he evoked the technique again, his 3 clones reappeared. Dao's extinction. The present body pointed at Chung San. Destruction of the physique, the heart and the soul became the extinction of Dao when combined. With the might of the Dao's extinction finger, there's nothing that the technique couldn't destroy. Chung San was killed on the spot. On the other side, however, the past body raised his hand and grabbed mid-air, evoking the infinite vessel manipulation technique. Xiling, who was trying to escape, suddenly trembled with rays of light bursting out from his body as he struggled violently. Does it actually work? A weird expression flashed through Jiang Ming's face. His future body also evoked the infinite vessel manipulation technique at the same time. The glimmering light around Xiling's body suddenly lit up before going up abruptly. His body was then flown backwards. Jiang Ming couldn't help laughing. The machine race is after all machinery. If it's a machine, it will still be restrained by the infinite vessel manipulation technique. Doesn't this mean that I am the nemesis of the machine race? After manipulating Xiling to walk over to him, Jiang Ming carefully observed him and discovered the mystery behind its existence. The machine race had souls in them. In Jiang Ming's point of view, however, these souls were equivalent to Dao vessels that had given birth to their own spiritual wisdom. If I manage to control cosmic or supreme machine experts in the future, that means, as such a thought came into his mind, Jiang Ming couldn't help from getting excited. It would be akin to an actual long river of Dao vessels that would be deterring even the heavens. Jiang Ming quickly suppressed the many thoughts in his head. He didn't send away his 3 clones because there were many more experts that were coming his way, group after groups. Many of them knew about Jiang Ming's strength, being capable of fighting to the death with Long Jinggang and to be equipped with a supreme weapon. However, most of these experts had the same thought as Chung San. They thought that Jiang Ming of the human race must already be exhausted after a great battle with Long Jinggang earlier and even received an attack from a supreme expert. However, the result was that all these experts had their life ended there. Boom! The earth sank and the mountains collapsed. It seemed that this small chiliocosm was approaching its destruction soon. In Jiang Ming's inner world, however, the 2,998th leaf was gradually taking shape. The entire space had collapsed, forming into a grayish domain. There wasn't any land, heaven, forest, and the lake was left. One couldn't even distinguish the direction, just like a unique space of chaos. Thanks, bro. I'm about to have a breakthrough, hence I'd need another 3 to 4 places like this. Please allow me to do so. When Jiang Ming felt the formation of a leaf of the world tree in his inner world, he felt ecstatic. He immediately waved and shouted to voice out his request. Above Jiang Ming seemed to have flickering thunder, which disappeared after his request. He felt his heart miss a beat as he was rather nervous. Because he didn't feel any repulsion, he furtively took a sigh of relief and felt grateful that the universe seemed to have agreed upon his request. He wondered whether it was the will of the universe. But who cared? Other than a new leaf had been nurtured, he had also slaughtered hundreds of experts of the other clans, most of which were of the Star Sea level or the great overarching realm. Hence he obtained various good things. Examples were the Tao vessels, divine crystals, divine veins, peculiar mineral ores, and rare items of the universe. He fused all of the energy crystals and rare items of the universe into the inner world, to be digested and accumulated as the resources for the imminent evolution of the world. Besides, he had also collected a great amount of good things when the various ferocious beasts committed suicide before him. What an amazing place, full of fortunes and luck. Jiang Ming clasped his hands towards the sky again. As he looked around, he discovered the membrane of this space. He paced through the void to an edge. He probed with his hand and saw a layer of film which looked like the water ripples. The layer of film was very fragile as it could be poked through easily, yet it was the one that isolated the space from the other. Without hesitation, Jiang Ming plunged into it. He felt a feeling of warmth spread all over his body. The hot air turned into billowing waves filling every inch of space. Red rays of lights and burning flames could be seen surging into the sky. It was a space of magma. The magma under his feet was turbulent. In some places, when magma erupted, a pillar of fire shot up to the sky. There were also huge rocks that form islands floating in the magma. Some red plants were seen growing on those rocks, and within them were an endless source of fire. A person was suspending mid-air in the distance. He was currently fighting against a beast rushing out of the magma. At the moment, there were numerous other beasts which looked as if they were formed by rocks, shot up into the sky. They besieged the person and killed him. Following that, these beasts turned to Jiang Ming. They exploded when they got near and disappeared, leaving only origin crystals behind. Jiang Ming couldn't help but smile. Then, he clasped his hands towards the sky. Elder brother, thank you for your generosity. Jiang Ming fluttered his sleeves and collected all of them. Then, the root of his world tree grew out from beneath his feet into the magma and began devouring gluttonously the magma transformed by the power of origin. In the meantime, fighting was inevitable. Hence he killed many experts of the other clans. The magma space had been destroyed. The 2999th leaf, however, was not grown completely. Jiang Ming was not surprised because he had known that the difficulty of nurturing a leaf increased with its total number. If he had not thought of taking the bet and cultivated it, he would have ingested it. The third space was a dessert. The leaf grew out after consuming a third of the space's origin. Jiang Ming was rather excited that there was the last piece of leaf left. He went on with the fourth space and the fifth. As he got to the sixth, he looked rather gloomy. He knew it would be difficult to nurture the last leaf, but he had never expected that the difficulty would go beyond his expectations. The leaf now contained energy equivalent to the demi-sage, but it hadn't yet formed. Hence, Yang Ming felt like cursing. Elder brother, I think this will be the last. Yang Ming felt rather sorry, but he didn't get any response. When he was preparing to begin devouring again, he heard an exclamation. Jiang Ming of the human race? Where's he? I heard that whenever he goes, he would wipe out all things by devouring the entire space. Damn, no one can ever destroy this place for billions of years, yet he made it. Another one came forward. In just a blink of an eye, there were a few experts who stopped at 10,000 meters away. They dared not go further, but only watched from afar. Beneath them were the ripples of oceans which might occasionally turn into a bigger wave. It was a water world with many islands. The islands were filled with greeneries and the chirping sounds of water birds. You all know about it? Jiang Ming greeted them with a smile. Of course we do. An expert with many arms took a few steps forward. He said excitedly, Brother Jiang, how did you do that? It's assumed that this is the place evolved by the origin of the universe. None of us can destroy this place with even supreme treasure or even take out anything from here. Yet, you can devour them. This is unbelievable. It's simple. Jiang Ming laughed. The universe is my elder brother, hence I'm considered as the master of this place. There's naturally no limit for me to take things from my own family, isn't it? Some experts of the other clans might have realized what was happening to Jiang Ming, hence they sent out messages before they were killed by Jiang Ming. Many even fled to other spaces when they saw Jiang Ming's might. Therefore, experts in the entire Spectre secret realm had learned about Jiang Ming's cruelty and terrific acts. Jiang Ming's capability of being a match of Long Jingyang to resist Supreme Expert. The fact that he owned a supreme expert and his ability to devour the spaces of the Spectre secret realm had been made known to the top experts of all clans in the universe. With that, Jiang Ming had become a well-known man in the universe. The universe, your elder brother? The Dobby clan's expert with many arms twitched his mouth, but he scolded within himself. Damn, such an unashamed guy. However, he didn't go forward because he knew how terrifying Jiang Ming was. Some experts even calculated roughly that Jiang Ming had killed at least 10 cosmic experts. As for the Star Sea experts, he should have killed at least 200 of them. This number was extremely terrifying. Some experts of other clans like the Zergs, the Demon Clan, and the Machine Clan wanted to take revenge, but none of them dared to do so. Brother Jiang, do you know that Long Jingang is looking for you? The Dobby clan's expert revealed a furtive message. I'm afraid that it's difficult for him to find me. Jiang Ming shook his head. We can't send our location and we'd be sent to a random space when we traverse. In fact, I wish to find him and kill him here. After all, I'm a master of this place. Brother Jiang, can you control the power of this place? The Dobby clan's experts inquired. The others in the distance were listening carefully as well. Didn't you see it? Jiang Ming pointed at the seawater beneath them. The seawater level had been reduced by 10 feet. The Dobby clan's expert had a twitch of his mouth. Brother Jiang, a familiar voice rang out, and Hong Ying got beside him in a stream of light. Her face was filled with surprise as she beamed. I've never thought to have met you here. Brother Jiang, do you know that your name has been spread throughout the universe? You've made many other clans to be in fear, and my heart skips a beat. Stop, your heart better don't skip any beat. Jiang Ming quickly stopped her. He thought Hong Ying seemed to have a different sexual orientation. Hong Ying gave him a wink and altered her voice to a coquettish sound as she said, I've got 81 harems, and each harem has 3,000 beautiful ladies of the other clans. What about you make me yours, and they become our companions in bed? No, I can't afford to do so. Jiang Ming rejected. He even retreated a few steps as though he was confronting a ferocious beast. I thought you were a man with your capability of suppressing foreign clans. Yet, it turns out that you are useless. Hong Ying pursed her lips and exclaimed, Alas, when can I find my prince? Sigh, I shall continue collecting foreign beauties. Yang Ming was speechless. After they were talking nonsense for a while, Hong Ying told Yang Ming a message. Because Jiang Ming had slaughtered too many members of the foreign clans, many experts of different clans had formed a revenge alliance. They were moving together to besiege and kill Jiang Ming whenever possible. Besiege and kill me? Jiang Ming was not very surprised. Of course, Hong Ying grinned, because you are too cruel, terrifying, and have killed too many beings. Hence you've drawn yourself too much hatred. Of course, the main reason is because of the many treasures that you have. Not to mention your supreme weapon. How many treasures did you get by killing so many experts? I'm afraid that even a supreme expert isn't as rich as you are. Another reason is that they wanted to know how you destroy this place. There's a hearsay that whoever can get the secret of how you can destroy this place, he may be able to absorb the universe's power of origin and further improve his cultivation base. Brother Jiang, who would not be jealous of you having so many benefits. I bet even the supreme experts are tempted to attack you if you were out there. I welcome their attacks. After all, I haven't killed enough yet. Jiang Ming smiled. Hong Ying was speechless. There were more experts gathered around, but none of them took any action. This made Jiang Ming feel rather disappointed. Jiang Ming was, after all, a good man. He was too shy to kill them all if they were not taking the initiative to attack him first. There wasn't anyone who dared to step forward even until the seawater had dried up. Even the experts of the Demon Clan and the Machine Clan were watching from afar. It was indeed an amazing scene. As the seawater dried up, they got to the seabed. In fact, there wasn't any seabed. It was merely emptiness, connecting to another space. Done. Jiang Ming was excited. He immediately closed his eyes and had most of his consciousness into his inner world. Hong Ying saw the changes on Jiang Ming's face, and she quietly started to stay alert of the surroundings. Meanwhile, she had a different guess. In the inner world, Jiang Ming had his consciousness merged with the world tree to comprehend its changes. When the 3,000th leaf of the chaotic world tree was grown out, the entire seedling had an earth-shattering change. The 3,000 leaves simultaneously emitted luminance, which shot out incredibly profound chains of orders. The chains were united into one 3,000 Great Tao chart, shrouding the world tree. The changes of the 3,000 Taos and the laws that occurred right at this very moment was indeed earth-shattering. Even Jiang Ming had never expected that the world tree actually deduced a Great Tao chart, which was similar to the Million Tao chart he used to comprehend in the Supreme Pagoda. The chart contained boundless mysteries and vast special abilities. It was as if leading directly to the Great Tao and evolving the changes of the various heavens. At the same time, the world tree shot up into the sky as it grew up to 48,000 feet high. The 3,000 leaves had also turned into 3,000 giant branches. Each branch had 3,000 twigs, and each twig had 3,000 leaves. Such a change was intense and rapid. The aura of the World Tree had been surging consecutively, up to an unimaginable stage. It seemed to be more terrifying than the Star Beast's supreme expert, who used to attack Jiang Ming. Is this the metamorphosis after a gluttonous devouring of the universe's origin? I think it must be. From now onwards, the World Tree has finally entered its growth period. Jiang Ming was enlightened. The changes of the World Tree had finally given Jiang Ming the endless good fortune. His soul, which had been transformed to its extreme, had sublimated to the limit along with the World Tree. It had also undergone a qualitative change, rapidly transforming towards the Saint's soul. His body was affected and had started restructuring. The luminance of fortune radiated out of the World Tree had also changed his inner world. Outside, Hong Ying, who was quietly guarding Jiang Ming, discovered the luminance radiated out from Jiang Ming. There were the luminances of chaos, great Tao, fortune, holiness, boundless, and wisdom. By just taking a look, one would be capable of discovering the boundless laws and Taos, hence unconsciously fell into the stage of Tao enlightenment. Hong Ying's eyes were blurred. She was instantly shocked and astonished. Why did I feel like confronting the origin of the universe when I look at the luminance Jiang Ming has been emitting? As soon as she focused, the divine light burst out. It allowed her to discover the rapid metamorphosis of Jiang Ming's flesh. Every inch of his skin, every strand of his muscles, and even every cell of his body were restructuring. When she intended to probe further, she felt her eyes ache and shed 2 lines of bloody tears. The auto-defense has actually caused me to suffer from the backlash. Hong Ying gulped in fear. She also felt the surging aura of Jiang Ming, although it was very obscured. Jiang Ming's mana, bloodline, and soul were all on the rise. Has he got a breakthrough? But how can he have such a terrific improvement? Being shown by the luminance emitting out of his body and inhaling the aura radiated out while standing beside him, I actually feel like having a breakthrough as well. This was what horrified Hong Ying. She was, after all, a cosmic expert at the pinnacle. She was considered as one of the top experts in the universe. She could even fight against Long Jinggang if she was to confront him. However, she inexplicably felt the current Jiang Ming was inscrutable. In the distance, when many experts saw Jiang Ming finish devouring the seawater, they were shocked and fearful. They thought Jiang Ming was a freak, hence must not be provoked. When they were about to leave, they saw Jiang Ming close his eyes. Then luminances were radiated out of Jiang Ming, whose aura seemed to be getting stronger. They wondered if Jiang Ming was about to have a breakthrough. However, they were horrified when they felt the boundless Tao fluctuations hidden in the luminances upon careful observation. Who's he actually? Why do I feel like I was confronting the origin of the universe by looking at the luminance emitting out of Jiang Ming? Can it be that he's indeed the younger brother of the universe? No, I think he should be the universe's own son. No, he should be formed by the will of the universe. The more they talked about it, the more nonsense the explanation became. Nevertheless, all of them admitted that Jiang Ming was superb. At this moment, the membrane of the space in the distance abruptly split open. Out of it was a Demon Clan's expert, who was startled when he saw what was happening nearby. Following that, he discovered Jiang Ming and revealed his ecstatic expression. Haha, it's indeed corresponding to the saying that one will search high and low only to find it when one least expects it to. Jiang Ming, I finally found you. This Demon Clan's expert was extremely excited. It was as though he had discovered a supreme treasure.